All right. So where we left off, you guys are all at the all of you except for Sarah are still at the top of Tahakapan, having just crashed an airship into the top of a ruined temple, or the ruins of an ancient temple. Let's see. The elementals have mostly dispersed. There's still two of them technically nearby, but otherwise, Arteme is hanging off the side of the cliff. The artificer thief, Anuadam thief, has absconded with the Wood Sage's chorus and was pushed off the side of the cliff and plummeted down towards the water.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Who was it that knocked her off again?
The elemental.
Oh, was it the elemental? All right.
Yeah, the gust. Almost knocked off Nazim also, I think. The first time was definitely almost got Nazim off. And then I think it was Nazim again the second time, or maybe Pogo. No, Pogo, you just crashed the ship.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's where we had left off. Let me go ahead and move us over there. There's a couple of quick things. We'll let that activate and let that finish loading for everybody. That's on the loud side. Let me turn that down a bit. Hang on one sec.
I feel like we need to go after the ball. Is everyone because we're still right at the end of the fight.
Yeah, but before anything else there, because Nazim had actually traveled, or would have had to travel through the spirit, you can see it on the map there, of course, once it finishes loading for everyone. Nazim actually would have gotten a free heal from the healing spirit as well, because that's where Arteme had left it. So to even get there, he would have had to essentially touch it, or I guess he would have had to try to avoid it, which would be more difficult than just walking through it. So we'd get the free heal. Arteme, if you want to roll a level 7.
I'll roll it once things load, because it's still not loaded.
Okay. I'll give it a second here. It's level 7, so... What's that, Fox?
I could definitely use it, too.
Yeah.
Everything is just black right now.
Okay. Well, we'll give it a sec here.
It did take a minute for me, but eventually did load.
Yeah.
So this is the first time I've got my 4K monitor to work right on...
For D&D?
For D&D. It looks
Nice.
really good. I'm a very big fan.
Does make a big difference with screen real estate, especially if you're like previously you were needing to rely on like pop out and stuff like that. If you don't have to anymore, it is nicer, of course.
Okay.
Too bad my eyes are kind of shit, but still, it does help.
What was that, Fox?
I said it's loaded. Let me just find...
If you just double click on the healing spirit, it's in the healing spirits features.
Am I healing spirit on the map? Because I see...
Right here.
I'm on the last dawn. It didn't change my maps if you changed just maps.
Oh, you're still on... Oh, okay, let me pull you over then.
I'm still 100% health, so I might as well I'm just gonna dive after this fucking ball.
I mean, I'm a giant eagle flying down there, but...
Where's your broom? I see it in the fire.
In the fire, yeah. Norak just kind of dropped it there.
Well, no, Norak was still carrying it, unless Ben didn't say that he was doing anything with it, which means he just, stows it, just puts it away.
Norak's just sweeping up the fire.
But Arteme called it, and so it is trying to make its way to her. Yeah.
You can fucking call that thing?
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
it's got a magic word or whatever that you can say.
Oh, fucking rad.
And she got a natural 20 on her animal handling check, so even from a distance, it was trying to get to her.
Nice. I forget that it's that sentient every once in a while.
Yeah, it's a mimic, so.
Yeah, I think you can send it within 300 feet of a place or up to 300 feet away.
Well, you can tell it, yeah, but even just calling it, it has to, as long as it can hear you, then it will come.
I don't know if the healing spirit's at level 7.
It is. Well, it was. She casted it at 2, and Sarah upcasted it using level 5, so she boosted the spell up to 7. So
perfect.
So 22 healing to Nazim. And
thank you.
And technically, Sarah, you could have 2 because you would have had flown past it, but you were in your polymorph form anyway, so the healing wouldn't have mattered because the bird's still at full, presumably. Now the Anuadam thief. She was blown off the side of it and is plummeting. You're about halfway down, Sarah, and you were catching up to her. Speed-wise, you'll be able to catch her, or at least be on the same, let's say, horizontal level, elevation-wise, to her. And your turn was polymorph and then fly, so you technically still have a bonus action, but that would be it. Is there anything else you wanted to do with that bonus action?
I just want to ram my body when I get next to her into the wall.
Okay, so you had mentioned trying to hit her to try to, hit the ball rather
Yeah.
than try to, impact and create concentration checks for it. So we'll come to that. But you don't have enough movement or action,
It's-
obviously, to do that at the moment. But on your next turn, we can come to that.
Yeah, I don't think the giant eagle has anything for a bonus action, so.
Yeah, they're usually very limited on animal beast form actions, anyways. So that brings us to Arteme. Arteme, you are hanging off the edge of the cliff there. Pogo and Nazim both have arrived at the top of the cliff and are getting ready to kind of lean down and try to help you up. But if
my
you
strong hand, child.
what? Use your strong hand?
Take my strong hand, child.
Oh, okay.
Do you not know that one?
No.
Oh, that's okay.
All right, what are you doing, Fox?
I don't think if I try and reach for Pogo, I think I would just drag him down. So I'm gonna try and reach for Nazim.
Okay, I do remember that. Yeah, that's a pretty fair assessment, Fox. He is quite a bit smaller than you are.
There it is.
All right, go ahead and give me either athletics or acrobatics, Fox. I'll let you choose. You are hanging up from a dry, kind of long dead root that's just sticking out of the side.
I'll take athletics because I have a bit of a proficiency in it.
All right. Well, it was a natural 20, so that's off to a good start for you. Fox, the sounds for that's not a volume I have control over, I don't think. Let me see.
No, I every time I load this, I have to reset the volume in the dark mode, and I forgot to set the volume.
Oh, you probably have it set to not save cookies, because those would both be saved
No,
in a
it
cookie.
doesn't save cookies at all.
Yeah. So both of those would be saved in a cookie, but if you have that disabled, then yeah, it would require you to reset it. The spell effects, though, I did find where that comes from. That is the interface volume slider, and that is individual to everyone. So if you wanted to turn those, don't turn them all the way off unless you absolutely abhor them or something. But otherwise, because that channel I could use for other things. But otherwise, that interface volume slider, you can bump that down. I left it to like 50% on my side. I'm not sure if that actually impacts your guys' volume levels at all. But that is where you would change it in the event that you needed to do so. All right. So then with that, Arteme, you easily clamber your way up, kind of shoving past Pogo and Nazim to make your way up onto the cliff. That takes 10 feet of movement. You were basically right over the edge, and it's double to climb. So 10 feet of movement to get yourself there. You still have the rest of movement, action, and bonus action. What are you doing?
Okay, is there any way I could see the orb or anything?
Peering down over the edge, you can see that Sarah in bird form is diving face down, beak down, and wings peeled back at her sides, trying to race down to catch up to it. There is a stiff breeze blowing through the kind of thin little ravine area, and it is kind of slowly blowing this bouncy ball towards the river, off to the left and towards the river. But you can see it. It's just far out of reach. It's probably 50 feet down at this point.
50 feet down. Okay, let me see.
And following further.
Let me see how far grasping vine goes.
Is Fox still quiet for anyone else? Just me. I can turn thing up.
Which is normal to me.
Alright.
I have her at 100%, just look in the middle. So.
Alright. You're at 182% now, Fox. You're probably good.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
I guess okay, no. It's 30 feet. Never mind, I won't be able to.
She's also falling very fast, and spells
Yeah.
can't, they can't interact with it other than maybe potentially grabbing it. But
Yeah, I'm gonna move my healing spirit here so people will get healed again.
it's the first time per round that they touch it, so I think everybody's already gotten it this turn. Actually, you wouldn't have. Yeah, this would be the first time that you've touched it this turn because you just started your turn. So
It's gonna be healing for me. Okay.
Yep. Jeez, Nazim? You did apply that 22, right?
Yep, that is after the 22.
Wow, you were in real rough shape.
Yeah, I was almost in single digits when they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 16, 17, I think it was.
Oh wow. Is there a wall?
What's the edge of the cliff? So.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
walk towards here so the broom has a bit less to travel.
Okay.
And I think unfortunately that's about it.
All right. That will bring us to. Oh, it's not combat, but. Oh, damn it! I hit the wrong button. Started it as if it was a new combat, but it is Norok anyways. It was 4 rounds before this, so. Ben, it is your turn, Holmes.
Alright.
Sorry, what I meant to say was that 22 was the healing spirit. I didn't do the 20 yet.
You didn't. The 20 wasn't you. The
Yeah,
20
20
was.
me.
Yeah, the 20 was to Arteme. The 22 was to you.
Yep.
Head over this way past the wreckage.
Damn it, I can't hear him either. He's already kicked up on my side.
It sounds fine to me. I mean, other than the echo, we need to get that fixed because that echo gets more annoying. But it's the thing is, by the time we get near the end of the session, I stop caring. It bothers me more at the start, and I keep forgetting to walk you guys through how to fix that. So, sorry, G. What are you doing, Holmes?
For now, I'm just going to get over to where the rest of the group is, and then I guess just look around.
Okay.
Make sure nothing else is coming after us, because I can look over and see that. I'm assuming I can look over and see that Seraphina is flying after the ball.
Yeah, well, you saw her dive over the edge. Turning around, though, you look back at the ship. It is spilling out this kind of oil-like substance that is burning these kind of incandescent flames all over the jungle here. And the fire from that looks obviously very different than the fire next to you, which is much more natural and kind of burning in a more regular form, let's say. You know what, actually... What is your feral instinct thing where you have advantage on perception, G? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And for that now, I think that would potentially come into play here. Feral instinct, advantage on initiative. If surprised at the start of combat, no, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, he gets advantage on dexterity saves for danger he can sense coming.
Danger sense.
I did.
Yeah.
Which one is that, G?
Danger
Rebecca?
sense.
Danger sense.
Yeah, danger sense probably.
That's a dodging thing. Okay, that's not the one I'm thinking of. The one I'm thinking of, I thought, was you had advantage on perception checks for a specific kind of situation, but I'm not seeing the one I'm thinking of. You know what? Go ahead and what's
I
that?
have it. Well, it's the Sentinel Buckler or something that gives me advantage on perception checks.
Oh, okay.
Flat, so.
Okay, cool. All right, well, that works in that case. So go ahead and give me a perception check. There's a lot of noise coming from this burning ship, obviously, but there's something else that may be relevant here. In fact, actually, Arteme, Arteme would have too. So Arteme, you give me, because you were hanging off the side of the cliff there, a perception check with advantage, and Norok, perception check with advantage. $20? Okay. Arteme, when you're hanging over the edge there, you hear obviously there's a lot of noise coming from the ship. There is the wind just kind of blowing past you on the cliff there before you had pulled yourself up. But piercing through all of that is a very shrill, sudden scream, and there's still rubble, like shifting rocks falling inside the temple from below you. So clearly, whatever the impact of the airship obviously caused something. And there's rubble and tumultuous earth happening in the area beneath you.
That does not sound good.
And then an elven female scream. But Ben, that doesn't take your action to do, right? That's just if you're... I'd say that's passive enough for your perception. Yeah. So, what you doing with the rest of your turn, G?
Just keep on the lookout and hoping that Sarah can catch that ball. Because I don't think I can get down there very quick, so it'd be rolling much faster than I can get down there, probably. So
Okay.
All
right. All right. Then if your turn, the elemental is continuing to make its way off. I'm going to say that he's, with a dash, is just gone, at least far
I'm
enough
just
away.
going to scream out, "Have a great day!"
All right. We are going to jump down to the bottom of the cliff here real quick. Sarah, I think I have to pull you to this page here. Looking down over top of it, I guess anybody looking down from the top of the cliff will see what's happening here.
All looking down from the top of the cliff, just curiosity.
Norok is watching the airship, which is probably not a terrible idea because it is on fire and leaking. But
Pogo realized that fucking crown, which is probably worth more than any of our lives, is fucking falling. And he's also curious to understand the physics of when a impenetrable ball with a moving object inside hits the ground at a certain speed, what happens to the item inside the ball? Because you fall in an elevator, you still die.
Well,
Like, shit still fucks you up.
yeah. Pogo, looking over the edge, will see that the direction she's falling toward is not ground but river. But still, hitting water. It's only 100 feet up or so total, top to bottom.
Like survivable, but not in a fun way.
Yeah, it wouldn't kill her. It's not going to kill you inside of a dome like that hitting water. But it would very rapidly shoot the ball right back up again if the water was deep enough. Although you actually do know this is shallow because you guys crossed it before. Speaking of, that body is still on the ground down there too, the dwarf Anuodon that had escaped. All right, so I pulled Sarah over. Sarah, you can see this page, right? You're on the third level down? Okay. All right. So it is technically her turn first. From your bird's view, I would say even just because it's, it is a raptor, it's a pretty well-evolved predator, is still able to see the actions of the artificer. Well, she's, was parading as an artificer at the very least. Inside the orb there, she is frantically scratching on the inside of the orb like she's drawing something, and you begin to recognize that it is circular in shape, and she's going to spend her turn doing that. She can't really push the ball like normally. The way that that they would move is by pushing the inside of the ball, and she can't really do that while it's falling, so it is just going to continue to fall. I'd say that it's at least here by movement wise, just from the wind and the the general rotation, let's say, of the ball as it was thrown off the side. But she is spending her turn doing something that you would recognize, obviously, that she's trying to draw on the inside of the orb there with some chalk. But that will be it for her turn, which will bring us to the elemental. Again, if nobody's doing anything to him, he will have absconded. That brings us to Pogo. Sarah, I'll pull you back to the top level here, just so you can see what he's doing.
Oh, it's fine. I can see it from Ben's.
From Ben's? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I cannot remember if I polymorphed. If I can do it once a day, and I'm trying to remember where we came from. We were on the ship. Where were we? What were we doing right before this? When we were coming from?
Well, you had dropped off Garup outside of Eifelstead, but at that trading post. But before that, you were flying over the desert with the Amora Queen and had attacked her. And I feel like you did use Sculptor of Flesh at one point, but I don't remember what it was for. Anybody remember?
I don't think it was during the fight with the Amora.
No, I didn't have to because I didn't have to use it to get. I fell off, but I didn't have to use polymorph. I think I was going to, if nothing else. But I'm actually going to say I think I have. For some reason, something in my brain's telling me that I've used polymorph today. So, let me take a look at levitate. So, quick question. For levitate, it's not really designed to fall. It's designed to raise something up to 20 feet. Mm-hmm. From a DM perspective, what would levitate do if I cast it on myself and then jumped off the cliff? Would I fall and then slowly start to slow down, or would I still hit the bottom at a lesser speed? What would you say?
Where is it? I think it would work similar to a slow fall, but let me look at it.
I'll click it so you can see.
Yeah. All right. Oh, okay.
Ignore that. Ooh, pretty.
I didn't see it. I was reading. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Actually, it wouldn't even be a slow fall. You would walk out as if it was solid ground. Can only move by pushing or pulling against a fixed object. So, you could use the side of the wall and climb yourself down, or walk down the side of the wall, but you would not fall unless you propelled yourself in some other manner.
I am just going to cast levitate.
You can change the target's altitude by up to 20 feet in either direction on your turn, meaning you can reduce your elevation by 20 feet per turn, and it will prevent you from falling any further than that. I'd say you could make it 30.
There's a better fucking way. Yeah. You know what? Nope. Pogo's not that smart. He's just going to reach into himself. He's going to cast levitate on his own body, and then he's going to just start fucking like the edge of a pool. He's just going to start pushing himself down from the rocks as fast as he can. So that'll be his
You'd be able to get 30 feet total down because it's 20 feet that the spell allows, and then you'd have half speed for climb, which is half speed. So you'd have 15 down to 10 because you have 25 normally, don't you?
I have 25 normally. Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 feet from that plus 20 from the from using
Right.
levitate itself. So you
So
can
I
make
am
yourself 30 feet down.
coming down the hill to get to that fucking ball. That's
Okay.
what I'm at. So I'm,
Okay. As you make your way past the level right below this one, there's an elven woman screaming and like rocks tumbling and falling inside. Just one person screaming. There were 9 people in that room previously that you know of.
Is
You're
it
only hearing one voice.
because I crashed the ship in the roof?
Some things may have happened.
Terrible built ruins. Terribly built. Horribly built ruins.
They're only
Not built
200,000
to
years old.
last like they used to make them. I'm gonna
There's-
scream at the people and be like, "It's crazy! It's elementals and thieves all over the place." And
All right.
I'm just
and
gonna
keep going down
going.
fast. Okay. All right.
And,
So you're 30 feet down. We'll say that's down to the 4th level. You guys are at the top of the 6th, so that'll take you down to the 4th.
She believes me.
She seems to be clearly upset by something else and is likely not paying much attention to your deception there.
Ramblings.
Anyway. Yeah. All right. That brings you to Nazim.
All right. Can't use my arcane gate. Can't use my dimension.
Also,
anymore.
remember, there is still a
So
dead
all I'm
person.
doing Is I may just assist Pogo in this situation.
Okay.
How far? You said 30 feet, right?
He's down 30 feet now. Yes. Or he's in the process of going down 30 feet. Yeah.
All right. I don't have any type of float. All I have is that stupid floaty 2 feet off the ground thing. That's not going to help me at all.
Well, yours does. Yours is natural, and yours will decelerate you. Basically, you can't fall fast.
All right. Time-wise, if I were to descend, is that in a reasonable amount of time? Or are we talking
It's
a few
15
seconds?
feet. No, it's 15 feet per round.
15 feet. Okay, so we're just
Yeah.
talking 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds tops.
Well, that's just to get to Pogo. That's not down to the bottom. The bottom is 100 feet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I will begin to float. Before I do, I'll ask the party, is there anything you need me to do up top here before I jump down? Because this might be a one-way trip for me.
There is a dead guy over behind that pillar if anyone wants to see if he's got anything interesting on him, because we might need to know where they're headed. Just a heads up. No pressure.
Do you want me to go check the pillar guy?
It's up to you.
It could be useful, but it's up to you.
All right. How far away is that pillar, distance-wise?
It is
It's over
this
here.
one right here.
About
Yeah.
40
This-
feet.
Yeah, that's one that I pinged back there.
There's just a body back there with a perfect rapier shaft cut
15.
through its spine.
Diagonal, 30. So right about there is what I'm looking at for a turn.
You can dash too.
Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and dash. 10, 15, 20, 25. So right about here somewhere.
Okay.
And
You'd be one more, so you'd be there, which is technically enough because he was dead right here, right on the other side of the pillar. So, I mean, that's your action. You still have bonus action.
bonus action, I can't do a search with the bonus action, can I?
No, I mean, I'd say that you can, by just your regular perception, basically, of looking at it, you can see there was an elf slumped into the pillar, like he was basically facing the pillar and leaning towards it when he was stabbed through the back, and he tried to kind of right himself, but didn't live long enough to do so. But he's blood out. Yeah.
Okay. Next turn, I will search the corpse and then
Okay.
head back.
All right. Then that will bring us to Sarah. Sarah, I'll go ahead.
I'm just gonna dive bomb her and just shoulder check her into the wall.
Okay. All right. You can make an argument for me here. I'd say normally an athletics check, but it is a bird. So if there's a more appropriate check that you think would be applicable here, let me know what your argument is. Otherwise, it'll be an athletics check.
And
It's about half your speed. So I mean, just movement alone, you're going to be able to hit her. But what kind of a check we're going to do for trying to aim her into the rocks instead of the water?
well, it doesn't really. Could I make a perception check to see the perfect angle to hit it to knock it into the wall without also bringing myself too close to the wall?
I mean, no, I wouldn't say that would have an impact on whether or not you could shove her correctly.
Okay.
But
Well, then it
potentially,
then it wouldn't matter athletics or acrobatics. They are the same.
Okay. All right. Well, then go and roll on athletics with a bird to try to shove a bouncy ball. All right.
Well-
You still kind of in full dive, just flare your wings just enough time to kind of adjust your angle, and then flap them again to dive straight in her direction and go square past her. As the ball is continuing to fall, you are on the other side, and the wind is blowing this way. You can obviously right yourself, but that is your movement and action. Any bonus actions? Like you said, a bird doesn't have much, does it?
No, I'm
All
just
right.
keeping an eye on this ball then as it falls.
All right.
By the
well,
way, how close are we to the ground by now?
Well, I was just about to get to that. Actually, you are maybe 10 feet above. I'm going to go ahead and pull you down to the lowest
fuck.
scene here.
Wings out. I'm
bouncing.
trying to slow down.
All right. I just pulled. Becky, did that pull you to scene floor 1 now?
It's loading.
Okay. Oh, you know what? You're probably not on this map. I bet. Let me grab your bird form.
I
Drop
see.
you over there.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's loud. Hang on. Let me adjust that.
Ow.
That's ambient. Yeah, that's ambient. Okay. There we go. That should do. All right. That brings you down, and let me grab her as well. The downside of this, I hadn't really, when we did this place before, I hadn't intended on coming back here and having to redo it this way, or I would have used it in a slightly different configuration. I would have done it all on the same map instead of on different floors like this. She's not actually recasting this. I just have to recast it to put it up on this map. So there we go. All right. So she is about there, and you are on the other side, about there. So.
Okay.
Oops.
And I am down now?
You're 10 feet from the floor, and she is plummeting and about to hit the water. Well, she's going to hit the water, obviously, on her turn.
I am slowing down for a landing.
Okay.
Like, super quick landing. But I'm slowing down.
I'd say that, that isn't really a movement. It's just kind of a general gesture for a bird. I'll say that is something you can do. It's not like an action, or anything of that sort. So you can slow yourself. That's fine. All right. We'll hop back up to the top then.
Bonus action. Don't crash.
Yeah, there isn't really a bonus action for not smashing into the water at a high rate of speed. All right. She is way down there. All right. That will bring us to Arteme.
Is the broom any closer?
Yeah, sorry, the broom acts right before you, so it is right there.
So I'm gonna grab the broom and go down as far as I can.
Okay. The
And
screaming is still
Feel
persisting.
free to grab me if you want. I'm fucking struggling running slow as shit down this hill.
I was gonna. How far down is the screaming?
It's in the room where all of the architecture or archaeological crew are.
Okay.
There were 9 people in that room, and there's only one voice screaming.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly grab the broom and check on that. On the way
Okay.
down, how far is the ball?
The ball is about to hit the water. It's at the bottom.
Okay, so it would be
100
way
feet.
more than 30 feet.
Yeah, it's 100 feet down.
Okay, crap. Yeah, I'm gonna check the screaming.
Okay. Let me move you over to that one real quick, Fox. All right, so there you are on the broom. I gotta pull you to scene, sorry. Pull to scene. Here we go, and there. I think I got that. All right, Fox, once that finishes loading for you. There we go.
I'm also gonna tell Pogo that he really shouldn't have crashed it into the ruins.
That's a forethought
Appreciate it.
question. This is an
Appreciate
afterthought.
it, Captain Hindsight. Really, really helpful now.
It's thousands of year old ruins. How did you think crashing an airship into it would be useful?
I feel like I warned everybody, and it was pretty obvious what I was doing.
Yeah, it did. You had a solid 12 seconds of, hey, I think I'm going to
Yeah.
do this, and nobody interjected and said, don't do that.
Yeah. I'm crashing. Don't be by the fucking elemental because I'm crashing the ship into them.
Arteme, you recognize that there is an elven female screaming and like throwing rocks now. That I guess the large rock falls have stopped, is how we'll put that. The kind of sounds of earth moving, but now there are like cracks and small rocks, like somebody's digging or something. It's clear there's been a cave-in inside, and there's only one elven female screaming. It's not Leary. You are. It is kind of like that, too, but I mean, wasn't a Hindenburg, but yeah, crashing an airship. Oh God, the humanity, the Elfanity, whatever. In this case, that was 15 feet to get down. Fox, you still have 65 feet of broom movement.
Okay. Can I actually see in, or is it caved in part this way?
No, you can see through the door, but you can see rubbles and blood on the other side. You can see an elven woman who is screaming and like on her knees trying to dig through it. And throwing rocks back towards the door. But you can see a small amount of rubble, a bit of the skeleton inside, the tyrant skeleton, the giant one that the Inuadam were trying to work with, and then the back of the woman who was digging.
Okay, well, there's not really much I could do now, so I'm gonna go try and grab the ball.
Okay. All right. Then
If you get the ball and you get the stage before us, you can fix
I'll
everything.
ask Norok if he could go help with the rubble.
Ooh, you can move the healing spirit in there.
Can I?
It's incorporeal. You can move it through walls and everything. So theoretically,
I'll move it beside her then.
Okay.
I'll move it beside Alassi.
Okay.
And go towards the orb.
Okay. All right.
How far down can I go?
You can make it to
30 feet?
No. Well, shit. Actually, maybe.
Visual 30 feet.
Well, you can see the ball, so that's fine. 80 feet from the rock, even with going in a little bit there, we'll call that like 60 feet. So it'd be like 10 feet out, actually. You'd be on the third floor, which is where Sarah was previously.
Okay.
So not quite. You'd be just barely out of range on the broom, like 40 feet. So if you have anything that's 60 feet, just not 30.
60 feet.
Yeah. If you have anything that's in range 60 is what I'm saying. You're about 40 feet away. I'll go ahead and move you down to the bottom floor as well, just so you can see it, but you are a bit higher up than what this will look like for you initially.
Okay, can I... Can I create a whirlwind underneath it to try and, like, spin her around?
I guess click the spell. Let's see. Oh, Sarah, I did have you on this one. I just didn't pick the right object to do it, so that's fine. There's two of you on this map right now. I'll just delete the other one. There we go. On the ground within range, which is 500 300 foot range.
Nope.
You haven't rested since 4 a.m. and it's 4 p.m. And that was before the fight with the Amora Queen.
Well, there goes that coming.
The whirlwind is out. You don't have a spell slot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have a spell slot for it.
Okay. You are. Let me put this here. You are 40 feet. There. So you still have action and bonus action. Fox has just been movement to get you to where you're at. The ball has hit the water and is beginning to flow down the river, which is flowing to the left towards where Sarah is in her eel form. Sphere thing
Ooh,
doesn't work.
okay. I could use. I'm gonna use plant growth to make the plants on the side block the river.
Click it. Well, third level. Choose a point within range, within a 100-foot radius, center of the plant, become thick and overgrown. All right, that's fair. The range is 150 feet, yeah. So where, hold down on the map, just click and hold where you want to start the plants growing.
Oh, okay.
I'm also going to yell out, maybe we don't kill this one, make sure we find out why they're here and talk to them first.
I felt like the plant growth, like, here so that way they're attracted to the ball, or just immediately call it out.
Okay. I was going to say that it does take it's an action, yes, but the plants it wouldn't be an instantaneous thing because she's still moving. But there is fine. That would catch her. That's fine.
Okay, that'll catch it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. That was action. Any bonus actions?
Move the healing spirit to say which was a bonus.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. That'll bring us to Norok. What are you doing, Holmes?
If I'm with the airship and moving a perception check now, you can see if it's like possibly the on the ground is laying on and breaking apart and it possibly fall. You know? Or is it sinking?
That is a good question. I'm not sure if Norok would recognize that kind of reaction to this liquid on the ground here. Go ahead and make a, I guess, intelligence check, maybe with disadvantage. This won't be an action, just on whether you're perceiving or whether you're seeing the the ground beginning to melt away or anything. Not that you see. You do see, though. Obviously, the fire is rapidly encompassing the ship, and just from the ship itself, and is interacting with the kind of incandescent fire that is burning in this kind of oil-like liquid. But you do hear screaming coming from below, and you did hear Arteme asking if you something, and then she flew off, and you couldn't tell what the rest of it was going to be.
I'm gonna go check. Is there a good way or a way for me to get down? Possibly, so I can go check and see if anybody's. Well, I'm assuming they are. Go see if I can help people that are inside the gutter.
That hole to the right of you, it would be over Norok's left shoulder, but that hole over there, that leads down to that same floor if you jump down there, and that's a safe enough spot without jumping over the edge.
Over here.
Yep.
Ooh, I'm gonna head that way then.
Okay.
Use as much movement if I can, dash if I need to.
All right.
Move towards the bottom floor to get inside.
All right. I will pull you over to this floor. There you go. I just pulled you to the scene. It probably said something like you don't have a character with vision on this floor or something like that first, right?
Actually, I see me.
Do you see you? Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, so that's where you just jump down from, and you can see the doorway leading there, and that's where the screams are coming from. So with your movement, you can make it to about there. You see an elven woman in blue lean down, grabbing small rocks, whatever she can grab, and throwing them out of the way. But there is a mountain of boulders, and not just boulders rather, but like the carved hewn stone of the roof of this place that has collapsed in. There was a crew that you would have noticed when you'd come in here previously and seen Leary before. This was only 2 minutes ago at this point. Seen Leary with Arteme. There were 9 people in here. You only see 1.
Right, then I will. The next turn.
Okay. I'll say that you were able to try to start throwing rocks and everything to try to get them in, if you are going to begin to do so. She's shouting Tyrael is the name. You didn't know any of their names, but that's who she's apparently looking for, and is like digging away at these rocks. But you do know, of course, that Leary at least is not visible at the moment either. I'm going to go ahead and just say this because I want everybody to see what these were. In the chat there in Discord in the Embers channel, where I put ignore these rolls that I'll explain in tonight's game. I had the D&D bot roll 9 D100s. You see those results there? Up above the cat ball.
64.
Yeah, so 87, 31, 10, 23, and so on. Ben, how long are you gonna spend digging, I guess is how I'll put that. Are you gonna do that? Are you gonna try to go help the rest of the group or anything? You gonna stay there and dig?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to help.
Yeah, I feel like we'll be okay. There's just one lady in a hamster ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know pretty much everybody else is on that, so I'm gonna try to
Okay.
help. So
Then with your preternatural primeval perception, you do hear mewling and groaning and pain coming from under the rocks from at least 2 different voices, but nothing else. 3 different voices, but nothing else. Those results were the checks of the 9 individuals and what they rolled. And I'll explain that order, what that order is here once we get further in. But you do hear, like I said, 3, quiet pain groaning voices under the rocks.
So kind of fucked up, but how funny would it be if Fox's aunt was just crippled again over the waist down?
Well,
Like,
we're gonna get to that. I'm just
That's
what
not really funny considering you probably
It's-
killed
I
most
mean-
of them.
it's very Alanis Morissette ironic. in my opinion.
well, I'll just what I'm saying here is that it was not an arbitrary thing. I literally rolled that in the chat there with a set order, and it'll make sense here in a bit what the order was to see what the fates of these people were. The only one who rolled high enough, if you look at those numbers, I'll explain what those, what those numbers they needed to reach were. The only one who rolled high enough just happened to be the elf that is still alive. Everyone else is under the rubble. And some of them made it and some of them didn't. And I'll explain what those are here in a little bit once we get back to that. But Norok is still digging at the moment. So, Norok, you can clearly see, obviously, these results are not great. And clearly there were at least a good number of these people didn't make it by the amount of blood that's pouring out from under the rocks there.
Yeah. Then I'll just keep going as much as I can.
Okay. All right. Back down to the bottom floor. I will also point out there was a certain amount of seismological reaction that would have occurred from the fireballs, but not anywhere near the extent as an airship crashing into the roof. So there was a much more significant impact from there.
In my defense, it wasn't even enough to kill the fucking dude. So
no, he died. Yeah, he did. He died.
no, he was still alive after the airship.
He was hit from the impact, but he was still bleeding and from the damage.
Yeah.
He still died the next round. He died before he even had a chance to act.
I'm
It's
just
like-
saying.
Yeah, I mean,
Right,
it wasn't 200 hit points, but it was enough that he did not survive. It was clearly the impact that killed him.
How do you
whether it was-
ruin work, man? That's what you should get. When you didn't hire the right people.
the contractors they had 200,000 years ago.
They clearly skipped some steps. Is all I'm trying to say.
Okay,
Right.
but it's ruins, so it's the
Well,
leftovers that- oh my
It's
gosh,
definitely
no.
ruins now.
It was ruins when we first got here. It's the ruins we were through. Like, wait, you were with us the first time we came here, so you would have
Wow,
known that this
definitely
was
was.
really old.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it seemed like a good idea at the time, if I'm being honest.
I guess Coco doesn't have much foresight at all.
He's
I
not
mean,
great at it. It's not
yeah.
his. It's not his.
That's why he's jumping out of second floor windows.
Like 12 seconds of crashing shit to not crash it. And to tell you to not crash
Really?
it.
Yeah.
12 seconds is a long time.
If I hadn't crashed that ship, we might not be in a great spot. I'm being honest. Everyone was getting pretty close to bad shape. But
Those elementals could have killed you. Yeah.
we weren't doing that great. We were not doing as great as we could. But yeah.
The growth is kind of forward into this almost bridge, like almost a dam, basically, except that there's enough water flowing through it. You do see the leeches, the kind of weird little fish-like leech piling up all over the plants as the orb connects with it. She's not able to go any further, but she is still trying to, now that the ball is kind of at a somewhat standstill, kind of being gently smashed against the branches of this plant growth, is trying to finish her drawing. It looks like, well, shit, actually, Sarah, from your position, I mean, you can see the other side of it. You can see she's damn near finished.
Not for
So,
long. It'll be
what's
fine.
that?
I said not for long. It'll be
All
fine.
right. All right. He's gone. That brings us back to Pogo.
Does she look all fucked up from hitting the ground?
You're halfway down. You can see there's definitely blood on the inside of the orb. It's probably. I mean, you're close enough to halfway. Let's say that you can get a decent look at it, but you can't really assess total impact. In fact, actually, she was supposed to have taken some damage from that hit, anyways. Even though it wasn't
How
around.
far away is
She'd
she
probably
from there?
half. We'll call it 4d10. 19.
And does she have to do a conf check to keep her bubble?
Yep. What button is that? I thought I set it to. There we go. 19. DC 10. Natural 20. Yep, she keeps concentration.
I can't make I can't use one of my abilities in polymorph form, right?
You're talking about trying to force her to reroll for your chronal transition or whatever that is?
Yeah, I think I have one now.
You still have your mental stats. Click it. It is a reaction, and you haven't spent your reaction yet, so mechanically it's theoretically possible. Let's see if in narrative if that would be functional. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Polymorph. You're polymorph. No, you don't have your mental stats. Yeah, so no, you can't. Yeah, if that was Sculpture of Flesh, or if it was a Wild Shape or something like that, something where you do keep your mental stats, I would say that it would be potentially, arguable that you could. But yeah, it's regular polymorph. You have bird stats, so.
I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, it was worth a shot. All right, Pogo halfway down. Blood spatter on the inside of the orb, but she's still clearly active and is drawing on the inside of the orb.
And how far away is she from me? I'm going to use my movement to get closer. So I use my whatever my full movement to get closer.
Okay, so that will put. I'm going to go ahead and put you that you're at parallel with Arteme, which is 40 feet up from the ground. So then pull you to this scene. It's probably going to tell you that you don't have an actor on this floor, so give me just a second to get you added here. There you go.
Oh, I'm not that far away. I'm going to go ahead and...
Well, you're 40 feet up and then that, so...
Yeah, that's not too bad, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and start playing my Ocarina of Sentiment.
Okay.
And I am going to use the ability... what is it? Friendly Pop, which uses 5 charges. Choose a creature within range. Oh wow! I don't think I need that. Choose a creature within range, and they have to succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or become charmed for 1 minute, as long as she can hear me. So I'm holding onto the rock with one hand.
Okay.
And I'm playing the ocarina, and I'm playing this and throwing memory, which takes 5 charges.
Okay. As you are doing this, she's not reacting in the slightest, and then you recognize that the sound, although it's still sound, is still a magical effect that needs to impact her.
Boo.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I am going to... Well, she's still in a bubble. As a bonus action... No, he's too far away for that. Oh, is he? Yeah, I think he's far away from that. Sarah's a bird, not low on hit points. Can't get magical things through there. Alright, I'm going to use my bonus action to move closer then, using my magical bracers. So that can bring me down to the base of this, which would be...
Yeah, as a bonus action, or essentially as a dash. Your brain bracers, sure.
Yep. So I'm going to keep doing that, and that's my turn.
All right. All right, that will bring us to Nazim.
All right, I'm standing next to that corpse. If I could, make a quick perception check just to make sure I see everything I could possibly see on this corpse to loot that may be of interest to us.
Okay. Sure. Give me an investigation check with advantage.
Investigation with advantage, okay.
Then, everybody's on different floors now. All right, we just move these off. The healing spirit is on the floor below. You see a small folded roll of paper. Basically, it's clearly like something this person has been who's a male elf has been unfolding, jotting notes in, and then folding in half, kind of like a college rule book where it's just paper essentially with a thin cardboard cover. That he's clearly been folding half and then shove it back in a pocket, yank it back out, jot some notes, fold it back in half, put it back in a pocket, and it's been folded and unfolded 1,000 times.
Taking notes in on something or someone.
Yeah. And that's sticking out of his back pocket, clearly widely used, and something that was important enough to him to keep him readily available like that. Other than that, he is covered in light jungly gear, let's say, so kind of light leather armor. He's got a scimitar and a kind of a elven longbow, but not longbow like an English longbow. But anyways, a longbow and a quiver. Nothing stands out as particularly monetarily valuable or magical in nature. And that's about it. Okay.
Sounds good. Then I will take these notes that he was jotting down.
Okay.
Stealing that information.
Okay.
Taking a moment, of course, to kind of read it if possible, if I have time to. Assuming it's a small book.
Where I guess it is many pages of written, jotted notes, like pretty hastily drawn, I would say is how I'll put that. Are you jumping like beginning, middle, or end? I guess we'll put it that way.
Gotcha. Let's take a look kind of towards the end, just to kind of see how the story ends and what the last few days.
It's a note, and it's from earlier today. It is Brandusk the 20th, and it would have been, let's call it around noon is when this note was taken. And it says, she's gone crazy. I don't trust what she's sending us to do. She keeps mumbling about some sign. And that's it.
Okay. All right. So with that information, we'll start heading back to the edge, and then I will let the team know. So I'll use my full movement to get back over there, 30 feet.
Okay.
And that's going to put me about 30 or right about here.
All right.
I can't dash because I use my action. So,
yeah, I guess the search technically would be. Put it out there. And put that in the chat.
So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back to the group. I'm going to jump down.
Okay.
And then
just
eventually
float.
when I get there, exactly, on the float and fill them in on just a little snippet that I read.
Okay.
And eventually I'll just read more of it too.
Okay. You know what? I'll leave you over here. You're going to be floating down. We'll say that it took you, all of your movement to get to the edge anyways and then begin the falling. So it's going to be a couple of rounds before you're down, unless you, propel yourself by other means.
In theory, could I just shut off my float until I
You
get
can.
halfway down?
Well, yeah. So that would be an actual impact. That's going to be, you know what? The thing is, I can't give it to you as free slow fall because that's not what it's intended to be. But I would say that if you you could theoretically take a small amount of damage. We'll call it a D6, or sorry, a D3 rather.
I can't handle anything. I'm fine. I'll eat the time.
Okay. All right. You slowly lower yourself. As you get near the edge, you hear, large boulders being thrown. Norok, still in a rage, is, picking up rocks and throwing them as best he can as the woman is frantically crying and kind of half screaming as you begin to make your way down. And that will bring us back to Sarah.
Okay, so I'm 10 feet up, like stable 10 feet up? Or am I
Yeah,
making
sorry,
an
flapping your wings. No, you're not making an impact. Yeah, you were able to slow yourself in time.
impact?
I'd say
And
that it's
I'm
well
going
within, a bird's natural ability is to slow itself down. So.
to fly right next to her,
Okay.
drop polymorph, and then use the rod to recast polymorph into a giant ape. And I'm going to roll this ball up onto the shore and just
Hey.
continue to roll her around.
The Rod of Absorption?
Yes.
Using charges out of that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
To recast polymorph.
All right.
And just start rolling her around so she's just going and hopefully can't fly.
You have enough charges in it, I assume, then? So revert
Yeah,
is a
I've
bonus
got-
action and then action from the rod, right?
Yeah, so I've got 12, so this will drop me down to 8.
All right. Oh, do I really not have a token? I gotta have a token for one of those.
Giant ape? I thought you did for Pogo at some point.
I'm pretty sure I do, but I have the actor in here twice for some reason, and I think at least one of them, but we'll grab the token real quick. 8. There we go. Plus you guys have fought something similar to one before anyways. Polymorph. There you go. Alright, so you are changed forms, out of bird, splashing into the water as a halfling. Immediately use the rod to turn yourself into this giant ape. As you are changing shape, you kind of looking down and see this kind of large, gorilla-ish form. You see little leeches falling out of the fur that were beginning, would have started to attach into halfling flesh, but are falling off of the fur of this giant ape. As you stand up, you're able to actually stand up out of the water. While standing in it, you're still tall enough to be above the water. And then just movement is you're pushing the
Yep,
The ball?
I'm just
Okay.
rolling her around so she doesn't sit still. So hopefully.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
Finish
not
her
to get her out of
circle.
the water. Okay, I gotcha. So you're specifically moving her so that she's not able to
Tumbling.
easily draw. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I'd say movement-wise, especially with the standing back up and everything, is about there. That you kind of got her just over the edge, up onto the shore there. That it for your turn?
Yep, that'll be it.
All right. That will bring us to Arteme. Arteme, you're still 40 feet up on the broom. What are you doing?
Alright, I'm gonna move down.
You got 80 feet with the broom, so 40 feet down, and you're, 40-ish feet from her.
So I'm gonna move down to here.
Okay.
I'm just not sure what I could try and do to knock her into the orb to try and knock out her concentration.
She starts shouting you from inside, out the ape and at you. Just, why are you attacking me? Just, we need this, it's important. Why did you kill my men?
Why did you try and steal it instead of going through proper channels?
It's not your property. It's all of ours. And she's still trying to draw. She didn't spend her turn. I'm gonna have her roll with disadvantage with a pretty high DC for that, Becky, for you trying to prevent her from drawing. Because she could still, remember, it's not big, so she can reach it even if you're moving her around, unless you're trying to bang her on the inside of it, which would take an action.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping to get out of the water all the way and then continue to use my action to try to bang her against shit. But that'll be for the next round.
Yeah, well, your action would have been to use the rod, so, but either way, she got a 5, so, with disadvantage, so, she's not succeeding very well.
Can I try and, bang the orb to see if I could get her to, destabilize and bang her head?
You can try. I would say that you're not, weak. You can definitely, hit the orb, but whether it's enough force to, kind of force her to make take damage, basically, and make a concentration check would be another question. Would be another question. That's AMBS here. That's probably the end of the sound effects. I'll have to adjust that. All right.
What about, could you use your grasping vine to, pull her into the wall? Across the way?
Yeah, I'll try that one.
Okay. That's...
Just, you don't
Yeah, you
have
didn't spend an action.
to.
So action to try to yank her back over to the other side, out of the gorilla's hands? Okay, so strength check, Sarah, or are you letting her yank the ball?
No, she can yank it. I can still move up to it.
Okay, so 30 feet over here.
I imagine I've got one paw up on the ball as I'm trying to crawl out of the river.
Okay. All right, then we will make a Dex, I guess, save. Really, for trying to hold herself still inside the ball with disadvantage. No, she still rolls an 18. She kind of dexterously rolls herself into a small ball as the ball is being flung. If you click and hold against a spot, it should ping. Okay. Okay. I mean, that isn't much movement. Oh, I see what you meant. Okay, sorry. I thought you said the other side of the river, so that's where.
No, I'm just trying to bash her into the wall.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say that she still rolled the 18s, or got an 18, so with disadvantage was a 16 plus 2 on her dex. She very carefully, very deftly, protects her head and keeps from impacting with any significant force against the wall.
How would she do that in terms of her orb?
Because it's a small orb. Well, literally, if you were inside it, you could touch all sides. It's only barely around her head. All she needs to do is just put a hand up. See what I'm saying? And you were only moving her 5 feet, so it really wasn't much, force as far as G-force. Yeah. Bonus action? I guess grasping vine bonus action? Yeah, so action. No, Rocker up next to you.
Literally just trying to bang against the bubble.
Okay.
I think I do much.
Okay. All right.
She can just protect herself like that.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. Even with a strength of 14, without without putting enough force into the ball, it's not going to impart much into her on the inside of it. So if it was bigger and she could bounce around inside, that'd be a bit more. Okay. All right, that brings us to Nora. What you doing, Holmes? Continuing to dig.
Yeah, I guess keep trying to dig and hold on to that.
Make a survival check with advantage, and then roll a d8, I guess. Great. All right. Roll a d8. Okay. Well, as you are pulling through the kind of last of the rubble, you see an arm sticking out from it. You pull another large rock off of it, and there's a man in there choking, an elven man. And the woman next to you screams and rushes over to him and immediately tries to begin to pick him up. You hear bones cracking as soon as she goes to lift him up, and he's just he's too in pain and suffering to scream much, but it's clear that hurt a lot. And she's trying to kind of pull him away from the rubble. He's still kind of under little bits of rocks, and try to kind of pull them off of his legs to free him. He's in shambles, but still alive. That is apparently her husband, who you've gathered that she was calling for Tyrael. But there are still at least 2 others that are alive inside the rocks. And then, like I said, others that you're not hearing voices from. All right, that if your turn, Holmes. All right. That will bring us back to, well, she gets another opportunity here. Let's see. It is her turn, so. Different spell, yeah. What the one you're talking about, Circle of Eternal teleportation. What she's casting is different. It's, that's why I was kind of getting to there that Sarah recognized that it was clearly a teleportation type spell that she's casting, but it is something different. Normally it would just be an action. There wouldn't even be a test. Like she would just automatically succeed, and it would be a cast as long as she has an action. Even from where she is, you'll understand why here in a minute. But because of the situation of being jostled around, being thrown against the wall, all that stuff, I'm going to say that she at least has to make a Constitution. It's not concentration, but Constitution to be able to cast it on kind of keeping her head together. With disadvantage, if I can find it. Here we go. Oh, it should have been a check, not a save, but same roll. So, still a 13 with disadvantage. Shit. Okay. Well. Yeah, she still would. She wouldn't really have any choice at this point. Okay. She was going to do something else, but I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to have to change what she's doing here instead, since she's still conscious enough to do so. I don't think either of you would have a potential reaction that could be functional here, but I'm going to describe what happens here, and if either Pogo, Arteme, or Sarah, or actually technically Nazim, you are 80 feet up at this point, so if you have anything within a range of 80 feet that could potentially be impactful here as a reaction, then let me know. But you do, for the briefest flash of a second, see the orb disappear, and then she disappears. And it happens instantly. So, I mean, there's just enough time for a reaction if somebody potentially has something to do so. Obviously, Sarah, your options are limited in 8 form on what you can do with that.
Yep, and I just hit the ball.
That's not a reaction, but
I feel like what we should have been doing is just trying to throw the ball up.
Yeah.
Letting it fall and hit the ground every time. It would have been another con save each time.
Yeah, I mean, any kind of an impact that forces her to take any damage, even if it was 1 point, would be a DC 10. It's not much, but it would be a DC 10. She did take a few hits. She took probably 4 or 5 different concentration checks throughout all of that. But she's not necessarily gone. The other spell she was trying to cast, the ball kept moving, so she couldn't finish it. So this is what she's doing instead, because the odds of that being successful were being reduced, let's say, by the constant barrage of you guys whacking the ball. If I can fucking find... Oh, shit. It's because... Okay, hang on. It's because I had to move her to this level here, so that's not the correct version of the actor. Well, in that case, this is going to happen. I guess what you guys are able to do about it after the fact is potentially relevant. So we will still, it's not. It isn't game over yet as far as handling that, I suppose. But all right. So I'll go ahead and do it just because you guys will actually recognize some of this. Sarah definitely would, and probably Artemis would as well. All right. That. And then immediately, so still technically visible to the giant ape, and then no longer visible to the giant ape. And it's gone. Well, shit. Technically, the second spell was outside of Artemis' vision. Yeah, so Artemis, you would not know what the second spell was, just that she disappeared. Sarah, you don't have your stats, so you wouldn't recognize the spell either, because an ape isn't going to know, and isn't smart enough to be able to recognize the kind of arcane threads that she surrounded herself with. They would have to target the orb. So, although actually, I think you have to target a creature with it, don't you?
Yeah.
It definitely. Yeah, it would have impacted the orb to be able to grab her, though, and when the orb dropped, it wouldn't immediately grab her. You'd have to reuse it. It doesn't mean it's gone. You could still attempt to do so, but it doesn't know where she is. You have to be able to see them to do these grasping by. Yeah. But she is technically not visible to anyone currently, and the only creature that saw it is not able to discern exactly what occurred. Sarah, I'm going to say that you can still roll, because there's still enough of you, obviously, in there to maybe be able to identify exactly what happened. I would say, obviously, Becky knows what happened, because you should see it in the chat there, of course. But whether Sarah as an ape, would process that while still in ape mind or not, go ahead and make an intelligence check with advantage, and it is Pogo's turn.
Huh. Okay. Well, did Pogo recognize the spell by any chance?
Yep. Oh shit! Sorry, Pogo. You were 40 feet up. You would still be able to see exactly what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have seen I didn't see them show up clearly based off the map, so I wouldn't know where they were.
She was just on the other side of that palm tree, so you would have seen enough of it to gather that she had Misty Step. You wouldn't see the second spell because she was around the corner.
Yeah.
But yeah. What's the circle?
Well, I was still on drawing, so I was just trying to move them up.
Trying to do what? Oh, you move the belt.
After I was still on drawing, so I was just trying to move them up.
Gotcha, no problem. Yeah, Sarah, you would recognize. She teleported around the corner with Misty Step, and then greater invisibility.
I would first ask.
Yeah, she moved into the room in that area. Sorry, Pogo,
I would first ask, did anyone see where she went?
I'm just pointing.
Okay.
Like a hound, just staring in the direction.
Usually it's Pogo in giant ape form.
Let's see. I shouldn't be 40 feet up anymore, right? I should be about 10 feet off the ground from my last thing.
No, you were 40 after your last turn, so you're at 40 still now, unless you're... Well, you still have the rest of levitation to move yourself down 10, and then if you want to use your movement to move down 10. But yeah.
I'll use... Yeah, so levitation to move down 10, and then I'm going to use my movement to get down to 20, and then I'll use...
You'd be 10 feet above, is where you'd be after just movement and levitation. So
in that case, I am going to just drop my levitation and then drop that 10 feet.
Okay. D6 falling damage, or acrobatics check first, and then if you fail.
Acrobatics.
Ooh. For the 16, anyway. If it was a natural 1, I'd say no.
There's a reason I'm okay dropping from 10 feet.
That's fair.
I'm limber.
You pull yourself up near a tree with your kind of grappling onto the side of the rock wall there, and then as you drop it, just use the tree to kind of definitely run down to the ground.
I kind of do one of those movie stunt falls where I fall through the tree and I grab onto a limb and kind of swing myself down.
Fair.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to dash with my magical equipment and 5, 10, 15, 25. So I'll get to about there. And that's everything on my turn. So I'm just running after where we think she went.
Okay. Yeah, the ape is still pointing around the corner. There's still kind of haphazard plant bridge dam in the water, and you do see this giant ape is being covered slowly in leeches. They don't appear to be able to get through the fur, though. That brings us to Nazim. Nazim, if you're with your falling, I'll say that you'll be able to make it, with your kind of slow deceleration down 40 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on this map. You'd be still a bit high up, but you can kind of fall at an angle so that you'd be...
I'm 80 feet up, so I guess if I'm going 40 feet down, I've got time to burn.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got your whole turn, so just your movement alone will be falling 40 feet.
So I'll fall 40 feet, and then, if possible, I'd like to read maybe the center portion of those notes. Maybe look for the most frayed papers or something that he's used.
Okay. So just having a casual read as you're falling towards sleep.
So by the time I get to the ground, oh damn, that's really bad.
Yeah, sorry. It's the ambient one. If you go to the music symbol and then pull the ambient one down. Yeah, I can't. Those don't have individual adjustments, so I'll have to adjust the sound effects themselves.
So yeah, I'll just travel halfway down, 40 feet, and read the center portion, and that way, by the time I get to the ground, hopefully I'll read all 3 sections of it.
Okay. It is long. I mean, it's not 3 things, just, but yeah,
snippets.
The middle of it, it is. He says, "Hang on, let me find her name. There it is." That would be from 17th-ish, let's say. That would be in the afternoon, and it is. They've set me with Elida. And that's Elaida. And she's clearly obsessed with some object that we're supposed to recover. Okay.
Alright. Perfect, I'll write that down.
Okay.
And I'll just keep floating down, again, towards them, and just slowly make my way down.
Alright. That will bring us to Sarah.
Alright. So I know where she was before she disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to make my way over there. So you say it's like, what? Right around here?
Yeah, right about where you saw her disappear, yeah.
Alright. So I'm just going to be standing on my 2 back legs with my arms out wide, and I'm just walking down. And I will dash if I need to and see if I brush up against anything.
Okay, hang on. So, like you're trying to, like a cow catcher on the front of a train?
Yeah, I'm like trying to see if I feel a ball anywhere.
All right. Clambering up out of the water is a little bit, it would be double for difficult terrain there. And then you've made it up there to 40 feet. You're probably pretty close already. But you'd be like there. Would be about as far as you can make it, I think. And that's being a little bit generous, even with the size, especially with the difficult terrain getting out of the water. But the water was low enough. That's fine.
40 feet of movement, and then dashing.
Oh, and then dashing. I'm sorry. Okay, I forgot your dash. All right, sorry.
Yeah, if I don't feel anything, I'm just keeping going.
Okay, make a perception check.
All right.
All right, so.
Do giant apes have anything with the
Doesn't look like it. Hang on, I need to make a roll here.
I think you get it with advantage if you're trying to smell her.
Well, that's what I was looking for on the ape, actually, is if you had anything, and it doesn't look like it has the keen senses. Yeah. 1. Am I blind? What is it? Oh. No, that's sleight of... Okay, I see. Never mind. I was thinking they spelled it wrong. Ooh! She did not roll well, but no, not enough. Okay. So you got a 19, even with a bad roll, but 22 beats a 19. You kind of feel like you brushed against something off to the right.
Alright, do I have enough movement to just, like, turn it and grab it? Whatever it
You know
is.
what I would say, since you were dashing anyways, when you felt it was about there, and it would be kind of off to, in that little alleyway. But the only reason that I wasn't clear, you definitely felt it, is because she got a 19 against a 22. So we'll say that you feel like you felt something in that direction, but it's not still there when you reach for it, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Does it feel like it's headed down this hallway here? Or was it after the hallway going up?
No, it looks like it was heading into that hallway, yeah. It felt like it was moving away from you when you bumped into it.
I will just keep reaching out until I can grab something.
Okay. We'll say that with the rest of your movement kind of stopping and turning and moving this direction, you can make it about there, into this little side alley type thing. You haven't hit anything else yet, but you do. Do apes just not have any sight? I'm going to go ahead and put light on. Oh, shit. Oh, I can't.
That's not.
It is.
Shit.
Yeah, it is pitch black in there, so you wouldn't really be able to see anything. And I don't think apes have any kind of dark vision or anything, obviously, because they're primates. So I guess it just would be that dark. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see much of anything in there. I was going to put a light source, but there wouldn't naturally be one, of course, and there's no light from above or anything. So.
Nope, that's my turn then.
All right, that brings us to our.
See a giant hairy ape ass sticking out of the hallway.
Yep. What you doing, Fox?
I'm gonna go over here, and she's going there. I'm gonna go east.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my right toolkit.
Okay. Let me move you just slightly so you're not underneath the 8 token here. There we go. Well, it does if you cast it on an object. I'll just put it on.
I tried casting it like a literal army, but I would have casted it on an object.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is by Foundry's terms, you cast it on the ground, but I just turned it on for your token for an object that you're carrying, your orb thingy. All right. So that's an action. Any bonus actions?
If we're grasping vine, I have to see it, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Is there any plants in here?
Dead ones. There isn't a lot of live plants in this room, just because, again, there's no sunlight coming in, so there wouldn't be a lot. 30 feet that you can see. It is, progressing vine. Okay, Tucker. That would be about right, yeah, for 80 feet.
Does it look like there's any way out of here?
No.
No? Okay. So I'm gonna tell Sarah to block the exit.
Okay.
And I guess I'll just wait here.
Alright. That will bring us to Norok. Continuing to Digby.
Yeah, people are trying to go where I need to.
Where the moms are.
I don't think the people still alive yet.
Okay. Survival check, and then another D8. Yeah, actually, now it is a proper D8. Sorry.
Since we can still talk, whatever, I'm gonna ask Pogo if he has any AoEs to put in this room.
Oh, I have fucking nothing.
Oh, you can put her to sleep.
That's a possibility. I can definitely do that. I can cast sleep inside the room as I'm fucking running with my tiny legs around the corner.
Yeah. Because if she's asleep, she can't really concentrate on a spell, yes?
Nah, she'll just drop and she'll be visible and everything will just happen.
Okay, and then you can...
area, though. I have to at least know kind of where she is. I mean, it's a big area, though. If we can get her into a room, then I can probably get her out.
She is in a room. She's in a tiny room.
Okay.
It's not completely tiny, but,
Norok, you're starting to get a little bit tired. The rage is falling. You pulled off another rock, and you find another body beneath it, but it is not moving. The male elf. You saw him earlier, 5 minutes ago at this point, but he's dead. All right. That brings us back to her turn. She's going to get another shot. Let's see. Let's see what happens. That's a little bit tricky to try to pull off without... you know what, though? She did see that she successfully escaped with that attempt there, because obviously mages in general are aware of what a counterspell is. And she was able to do so, move without you guys counterspelling her. So, she is going to try. She only gets one shot at this is the thing, and if you interrupt her and she can't do it, then she's screwed. Make a perception check, Sarah.
Oh, I'm glad I'm an ape. At least I have a plus on this.
Oh, all right. Let's see. God damn! Why is that? My list is just obnoxious. Trying to find my way through it there. All right. You don't notice anything.
Do I see anything from my vantage point of this situation or no?
We're not even close.
You guys are around the corner right now, Nazim. So so basically, from what you can see, you saw Sarah as a giant ape and Arteme fly around the corner there, and they're just around the corner. So whatever's happening is just on the other side of it. They're literally right around the corner.
Aware of what's happening. He just knows that something is happening around the corner, so I can't actually.
I would say that because you saw her Misty step away initially, you can gather obviously that she Misty stepped away and is trying to escape, obviously, and because you can still hear the giant ape around the corner there.
I can't cast the spell.
No, well, unless it doesn't require sight. Well, I mean, it depends. What do you have as far as spells that are a reaction? Do you have anything that could, interject there without needing to see her? Is the question.
Counter spell, but I'm seeing if that requires sight.
I don't be eating counter spell around the corner without seeing the spell.
Yeah.
Also, they're still invisible, so.
Yeah. Well, at that point, at that point, there wasn't a spell cast. At least there was no reaction from.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had to make a logical choice there, and casting a spell was more risky than being sneaky, and she was being sneaky instead. So, which also means she's still obviously in the general vicinity. So there's that. That would be action, so she would be there. Alright. Brings us to Pogo.
Alright, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I see a giant ape heading into this. That is all of my action. I'm gonna assume I have no idea anything else is going on, so that's my movement. I'm gonna use my bonus action, 5, 10, 15, to basically get up into here.
Okay.
And
shit! Make timing wise, it's only fair. Make a perception check as well.
All right, this is great, guys. I'm really good at perception.
It'll be a really high DC because she technically would be going through.
Hey, not bad.
Yeah. There's a vaguest waft of, I wouldn't say perfume, but attractive elf smell is how I'll put that. That is just past just as you enter that space.
You
can't tell what direction. Yeah, you can't tell what direction, but
I'm ignoring it.
Yeah, but there you go. That Pogo would notice that she passed and smelled good is fair. That's something Pogo would notice.
I left that up. I left that to chance. I was gonna do a 1. I follow
React
it.
to it.
Yeah, 2. I don't.
like Pepe Le Pew style.
And I'm gonna just yell. Do you want me to cast sleep in the room?
I'm gonna say she's probably not in the room.
Arteme wouldn't
know
that. Yeah, Arteme would have no idea of that. She would supposed to. Yeah, that'd be meta knowledge. You as Fox saw the stealth check, but you guys don't know.
Casting sleep in the room.
Could I
you get to choose.
Actually, I would have tried to do it without Artemis. I would have moved it to the right a little bit.
Well, you get to choose the targets in the area. It doesn't automatically hit anybody in the area.
Oh shit! Yeah. Then I might not even be able to do it if I can't. Let me read that.
I think, don't you? Right?
No. I can. I don't have to see it. I just cast it in a point. So I would have casted it further enough away to not hit Arteme.
Starting with the creature has the lowest hit points. Each creature affected by the spell. Well, shit, I could have sworn you get to choose the target.
No, because once I was blinded and I was casting this blindly into a room, and I put some halflings to sleep on it, actually. It just first targets whoever has the lowest hit points. But I would have got it outside the range of Arteme.
I guess, if you did it kind of towards one wall or the other, like over here.
I'd have just done it more like to fill up the
that's fine. All right. So you do cast it. Obviously, the spell slot is expended, but you don't see anything, fall asleep or anything.
Is she still? Did anything happen? I can't see great into that room.
Nothing happened.
She must still be in there somewhere.
She's just invisible and sleeping.
Or she just has she's very strong. She's a strong-willed person. That's my action movement and bonus action.
All right, that brings us back to Nazim. Nazim, I would say that now you're 10 feet above the ground and like here, just if you were falling at an angle. So you are able to see the ape, and then you have movement and action and bonus action still. You know what? Technically, you do have movement too, because the falling doesn't take movement for you. It's just an effect that's just happening, even if you're passive about it. So you technically still have your movement as well.
Okay. So I guess what I'll do is I'll continue to float, and I will move. Float on down to about right here.
Okay.
So that way I can kind of see what's going on and kind of orient myself.
Okay.
And then while I'm moving over here, I'd like to kind of quickly browse the first portion of that section of notes, just to get a bit more information. So that way next turn I can kind of share with the team.
All right. Jot that real quick here. There you go. There you go. That was the first note. Again, there are plenty of notes. This is clearly his, like a keeping tabs on somebody kind of a thing. And that's what it says.
Full record. It's just I don't have time.
Exactly. Yeah, as a DM, I'm not going to write the entire journal out for you, so there's just some relevant bits for you there. One near the beginning, one near the middle, one near the end.
They had eggs.
Well, kind of. I mean, that probably wasn't the kind of details that he was writing down, but sure, there could have been other details that are not relevant to the story, potentially. So. All right, but you gather that. That doesn't take an action. I would say that you can kind of do that as you're falling, as you were falling off towards the corner there. So you still have your bonus action and action. I think you're out of movement now.
Good news, Arteme. If there are any snakes in those...
So I guess I'll just ask out everybody here, since I'm just kind of coming into this new, what's the situation? Because Nazim's just seeing this for the first time down here.
She may or may not be in that room. Not sure.
Said something about having, like... earlier?
Having smelled a bit of perfume? Probably not.
Oh, you say Arasaka?
So, prestidigitation here. Let me take a look at my spell book. Under my spell casting, I still have my action, correct?
Yep, and bonus action.
Beautiful. I will go ahead and use my minor illusion if possible.
Okay.
Now, I can cast this out, 30 feet? So I will throw it 30 feet as far inside that cave as I can where she's suspected to be.
Okay.
But I'd like to throw in, if possible, just some form of a glitter or sparkly dust of some sort, just a prestidigitation of some type of a glitter-like substance. So in the event that she is standing there invisible, it will touch on her.
That
like
won't
throwing
work.
paint in a cartoon. That
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to do that with prestidigitation. Potentially if it was silhouetted. You said prestidigitation. Minor illusion, I would say neither of those really. You could literally just do it with mundane items, but magical effects would settle past it. So should
We
be
need
specific.
fairy fire.
Yeah, fair. The reason that that's the case, Sako, is not. It's actually a creative use. I actually would like to just say yes. The only reason that I can't is because those are both cantrips, and basically a cantrip can't subsume an actual spell, because then if that spell, if you imagine, let's say that Sarah was going to cast Fairy Fire as using a spell slot for it, and you did the same with prestidigitation, that isn't really fair as far as balance is concerned. But
one use a telekinetic hand
to drop a bag of flour or something, yes, absolutely. Those kinds of.
Let's say use some pocket sand. So telekinetic hand out 30 feet, grab the ground, throw up the dirt, just as if I would just scoop up dirt with my hands and flip it in the air.
Yep. And that's just kind of creative, environmental use, but rather than a cantrip replicating a spell that costs an actual resource.
Gotcha. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll shoot my telekinetic hand out as far as I can into the room.
Okay.
And essentially throw a huge handful of dirt in the air just to cause a large dust cloud.
Sure. All right. So you, we'll say that you can throw like a 15-foot fan, 15-foot cone worth of dirt up front, because there's just not a whole lot of dirt inside that room. It's mostly kind of just aged and melted into stone by now. But you toss it, kind of in front of where Arteme is. There's no interaction with the space, is how I'll say that. It all settles in the way that you would expect it to.
Gotcha. So
yeah.
we can kind of conclude that it's not standing in that general area right there.
Correct, yeah. That area that's just in front of Arteme there, yeah.
All right, that's it for my movement and my action.
All right. Pogo, what were you saying about snakes?
Well, I was just saying any snakes in this room that may or may not be inside these little...
So you opened it last time. Do you remember that then? Okay.
Now they're asleep, so don't worry about that, guys. You're welcome.
That was a little bit over a month ago. That was 5 weeks ago in narrative when you guys were here last, and Pogo had opened one of the jars and got chased by a snake. So, all right, Sarah's turn.
Right, well, I was told to block the exit, so I'm gonna sit down.
All right.
I'm gonna find me like a rock next to me, and I'm just gonna sniff the air in the room, see if I can figure out like what general area she may be in, so I can just chuck a rock at her.
That's a fair, especially as an animal, even if he doesn't have keen senses, that is still a fair thing to do as an animal, to try to sense, where prey might be, or an attacker or anything, especially for a primate. So go ahead and make a perception check. No advantage or disadvantage, just a flat roll. Perception. Okay. You're sniffing this whole cave here, and you don't smell that elf smell, but you do smell it off to the north.
Alright, then I'm just gonna slowly stand up and start walking that way.
Okay, so technically it's half movement to sit down and stand up. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna do that just because it's not nice. So
no, that is exactly why I sat down. I was told to block the exit, so I sat down.
All right. Well, then you have half movement then. So half on 8 is 40, so 20 feet.
Yeah, so 20 feet, and I will... Do I still have an action, or was the perception check action?
No, that's just... Yeah, I would say that's just passive. So.
Then I'll just, keep doing what I was doing before. Arms out, just walking.
Okay. All right. Arteme, you do see the ape, Sarah, kind of lifting her head up and kind of eyes towards the ceiling and sniffing the air, and then beginning to get up and rotate and turn herself around, and then kind of arms down, begin to rush forward. All right, so it would be 20 feet to there, and then 40 with dash.
Yep.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 34, so you can get to there. You don't impact anything during that route.
All right. That's my turn.
All right. That brings us back to Arteme.
Oh. Yeah, no, because I dashed.
Shit. No. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I was going to give you a potential opportunity, but it's not possible. So. Is that 80 feet, Fox?
Here, I think so.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Is it 80?
It's probably pretty close. I just didn't draw it out. Well, it wouldn't be a straight line.
55.
No, that's a straight line. You couldn't have flown in a straight line. So you got to be fair about it there.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We use plant growth to make everything overgrown and try to ensnare. Kind of like ensnare, except not the giant bee.
Okay. Click on plant growth again. What's the radius and area of effect? Oh, 100-foot radius. Yeah, that's plenty. Okay. There isn't a lot to kind of build from, but there are some dead roots that you're able to kind of invigorate and begin to, kind of fill the space. It's an action to cast, but it doesn't fill 100-foot radius instantly, just like it did, on the road, or on the river, rather. But it does begin to kind of fill the space and certainly make it difficult to traverse through if you're not a giant ape that's just stepping on it or on a broom and flying over, meaning little pogo feet, and potentially Nazim might have some difficulty getting through it. But you have filled the area with this difficult terrain enough so that you do feel like if you were very clearly watching the ground and someone were to step in it, you might see footprints.
Okay.
Not now. You won't see Yeah, exactly. You won't see where she walked before, but if she were to walk on it now, you might see depressions in the soft growth. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
That's good.
That your turn? Fox?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
For the healing spirit, it's still healing people up there.
It is doing its best. Right now, there are only... Well, the healing spirit doesn't know where they are. You just moved it near to where Alessa was. Alassa.
And I can't really move it without seeing where it's going now.
Exactly.
Because I moved it into the cave while I was there. So it's
But it is, at least it's from what Norok is able to see, obviously you're not able to tell this, but it is able to kind of alleviate some of the pain that Tyrael was in, the one that has been recovered alive so far. Norok is still digging, which, coming back to that, Norok, it is your turn, Holmes.
I do still hear other voices around, right?
Yeah, there are still two that are like groaning in pain, and like there's small shifts in the rock where they're clearly trying to free themselves or bang on the rocks. It'll be 2 d8s because you moved a little bit where you're at. There's so roll your that's fine. All right, 2 d8s. The survival check is only as long as you don't roll a 5, where you would end up dropping rocks on, well, let's say causing a shift in them that might cause further damage is what I'm getting at, as long as you're beating a 5 on your survival checks. All right, 8, and what's the other? Oh, that was 2D. Okay, it's a 1 and a 7. That is that one. You pulling one rock off, you see a hand moving that is like banging against the rock, and you pull the rock away, and it just kind of starts to bang it open space, and then it just freezes still. It is slathered in blood. It's just, the entire arm is slick with blood. But you pull the rocks away and free a female elf, another one of Leary's dig crew. And then 7, right beside that elf is another one that is not moving. A male that you pulled the rocks away and is just crushed. There's still one that is alive in those rocks somewhere. Shit. You know what though? I'm gonna just this would be below Norok's passive, so I'm just gonna whisper that to Norok real quick. Did I do that wrong? Oh, yeah.
I'm just thinking of Nora pulling out like the upper half of a body and being like, I think he's gonna be okay, and like tossing it aside.
I got it.
Okay. All right. That brings us back to. Oh well. Back to here. Okay. Shit. So here's the thing.
Pogo's gonna scream out that if you give yourself up, we promise we will not kill you.
Okay. Make a persuasion check with disadvantage, and she's almost certainly not going to listen. But if you're able to roll high enough, Ben, you got both of those, right?
Yeah, because I'm being serious. I don't want to kill her if we don't have to.
Yeah, because she smelled nice.
Ooh, not
oh
gonna
shit!
do it
Natural
that.
20. Oh, it was an
Yeah,
oh, it's
I
disadvantage.
Oh.
Fuck, dude. Even a 3 is an 18. Pogo's fucking ridiculous with social skills.
Yeah.
Oh shit. The thing is, there's noise coming from a certain direction, but nothing else, and I don't know if that would be enough to draw attention, potentially. There is a flash of blue light from the room to the right, Sarah, and then it's gone, and something hits the ground. It's too dark in there, you can't see anything, but there's a flash of blue light, which you are fully aware is often used for reconnaissance, kind of standard arcane magic, and teleportation falls within that. You don't smell anything in there. It's a bit far, obviously, but there was something that hit the ground, at least in there.
I'm just staring in that direction.
What was that, just Sokka?
Oh, I was saying it was our hopes they hit the ground.
That's it. Yeah, shit. Would you? No, as an ape, you wouldn't even have any chance to recognize what the spell could have been. So that's it. All right, Pogo's turn.
All right. Seeing everyone leave here, I'm gonna assume that this is a dead fucking end. 25. I'm gonna ask Arteme if I could get on the broom. Maybe we could get a bird's eye view. Or do you know any? Is there any other ideas?
Would
of
I
where-
have seen the flash of light? From
Yeah,
the
you would
light?
have. You would have seen the blue flash. Well, okay. Let me clarify. You would have seen the illumination of the kind of doorway to the right there, like somebody turning a light on in the room. But you wouldn't have seen the spell cast, if that makes sense. You wouldn't have been able to identify from that. But yeah, you would have seen the blue light. Yes, both Fogo would as well, and Nazim. All of you would have.
There's still a bunch of. Where's the spell she cast? I don't see it on the map. Is it just everywhere?
It's gone. It was a flash and is gone. Yeah.
No, I meant.
I cast.
Sorry, the plant growth. Yes. Yeah, that's the whole area. This whole hallway.
Everywhere?
Yeah,
So-
it's a 100-foot radius, so it's huge.
So is it alright if I
Did
get on
you
the
go into
broom?
that room too, a bit?
Yeah, you could have for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for all you know, it filled the room as well. It covered a 100-foot radius, unless you tell it to only be a smaller space. It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it would have filled the room.
Yeah.
I could still cast sleep again if you have an area. But I might need to see the area itself. Well, actually, no, I don't. I just have to kind of know where it is.
So could you have cast it earlier than you did?
What?
What do you mean? It wasn't his turn when she teleported, if that's what you mean.
Oh, okay.
If that's what she did. She did, obviously, but...
Well, I mean, like, before she ported from the other room, while he was around the corner, would he have been able to cast it into the room?
She didn't teleport from the other room. She walked out.
She just ran past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, alright, in that case, 5, 10, 15, 20, greased by the ape.
Would
get to
Pogo
that.
have recognized what the light was?
Actually, if there's plant growth, I could only get to, like, here.
It'd be difficult terrain, yeah, unless you were hopping on the room, but that would still be moving on Artemis' turn, so...
Yeah. So I guess I'll just go here. And... as a bonus action, though, I will go ahead and try to give Arteme some encouragement, and I will cast Bardic Inspiration on her.
Okay.
Yep. Find my stupid feature.
I'll actually have a D12. Yeah, D12 now.
D12 added to a check.
Hey, pretty.
Yay!
Alright. That brings us to Nazim.
Oh wait, I can get a little more motion because of my. Oh wait, nope, we're good. Never mind.
So 30 feet.
Oh, yeah, I can. I can still dash.
25.
Yeah, you can still dash.
I can get to here.
Okay. It is pitch black in that room.
Oh,
So-
great, perfect.
Yeah. That's why, by the way, that Sarah, as an ape, wasn't able to see anything in there. It is pitch black, no light coming in except for the light that's coming in from the river to the south, basically, and so therefore couldn't see anything. So, sorry, Sako.
All right, so I've just moved my max 30 feet. I see the commotion happening in that little room kind of northeast of where I am.
Yep.
Since it is pitch black, what I'd like to do is just look on the ground for a stone or a rock of some sort.
Okay.
Any pebble might do or anything.
Sure.
And I will cast light on that stone or rock
Okay.
and just chuck it into the room.
Okay.
So that way there's a small something of light in there so they can look around.
All right. You toss it. It clinks off of the little pillar right here, and then lands kind of near the middle of the room there. With that, and illuminates it. From as soon as that happens, the kind of flash of light that flings over Sarah's head and over Pogo and lands in the room. You can see the room is empty. There, as far as live people, let's say, or live creatures in there. There is a book. This one a little bit more well maintained, laying on the ground, and like a scroll, like a pen that is kind of laying next to it, and that's it. Otherwise, the room looks like it did when you were here a month ago.
All right, and that's going to be it for my turn.
All right, that brings
Do
us
we
to
see
Sarah.
like the footprints of where she moved?
You know what? Yeah, I would say that you see next to where you see a trail of footprints. Let's say, let me draw that real quick. From about here until about there. This side being the far end there. And then after that trail of footprints is a more robust journal, not just a folding papers, but a more robust journal and like a writing implement that is clearly well used, laying next to it. By the location of the sound, Sarah, you gather those are the things that must have been dropped after the flash of light. Okay, and it is your turn, Sarah.
I'm going to walk inside and pick them up.
Okay.
And just.
You are an ape, so.
Yeah. Do I have any more move? I will just turn around and just kind of like hold them out to Pogo as I'm walking back out.
Okay. All right. You pick them up, walk them back over to Pogo.
Yep. And then I'm just gonna sit down and wait for someone to tell me what to do. Can I just kind of sniff the air and just make sure that I don't smell her in here?
Yeah, that's fair. Give me a perception check. And it's a small enough enclosed space without much, airflow, so. And it only happened with a natural 20. All right. She was the smell, the elf smell, was definitely in this room and no longer is.
All right. Then I will drop my animal form. She's gone.
All right. All right. There you go. Restore transformation. Back to regular Sarah. Oh, you are itty bitty Sarah now because it.
Oh man.
Let me fix that. Hang on.
So tiny.
It tried to revert the original form, and then also the token has the one. It's the one with you on the broom that was default. There we go. So I had to adjust the size back. There we go. All right, Sarah. Pogo. Sarah hands you a journal and a writing implement.
All right.
She teleported out of here. She's not in this room anymore.
Fucking A. And she still has the...
Yep.
I'd say just chorus, yes.
I'm pretty sure I saw Nazim fucking around with something he got off that corpse. Maybe it tells us where they are or something about these people that we can go and track it back down.
Or her journal might have more in it. Pretty sure she dropped that in her pen on the way.
Oh. I thought this was just a gift. All right.
No, I'm pretty sure she dropped that when she GTFO'd out.
All right, I'm going to look through it. I'm going to specifically just look for anything having to do with where this person might be headed, base of operations, even if it might be coded or using non-specific, more descriptive terms, and the any other names that I could sort and gather from this book, whatever I can find. That's what I'm going to look through.
Okay. You open it then, and looking at the, starting from the beginning there, it is very clearly the ramblings of a crazy person, and it doesn't, from the outside, it looks like an important research log, right? The first few pages do have kind of normal stuff, but as soon as you get past about 3 weeks ago at this point in the kind of logs of record, the time, it starts by just saying lies, and it's all it's all written perfectly cleanly, not crazy, like it's all written very controlled, I guess, and the next page that's slightly larger, the next page are a little more wonky, and so on, and just keeps repeating that over and over and over again for about 10 pages or so, and then there's no more date stamps or anything like that after this point, and then after that it is just a drawing of a symbol over and over and over again. And it's drawn like a 1,000 different, iterations of the same symbol. The kind of way that you remember the movie Seven when crazy with this. You see this in other movies too, but when the serial killer has shit written all over the walls, like just random stuff all over the place, like that in all kind of haphazard directions. And it's that.
It's like every journal from every crazy person when they get the last.
Yeah, every serial killer movie, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and it's that symbol.
So villainous. I call that a vision board.
Yeah, super helpful. This person needed medication, and does this remind me at all of the writing that we found? We were on the ship from the dude that was turning into an Illithid.
Very much looks exactly like that. That Songs from the Deep. There are references to hearing the song and things like that amongst the lies and other clearly murmurings, I guess, of a crazy person, and then that symbol that I just put in the chat there over and over and over again.
I am.
We know what the symbol is.
Show it to everyone else, and basically be like, "I'm pretty sure that person is infected with one of those illithid things, one of those worms."
Right.
Look at this, and I'm just gonna show it. Be showing people. Like, this is the same stuff from that ship.
So
This
at
is
this
just
point, if possible, if I could shout out to everyone the three things that I read. The first part says that she's looking for the yellow sign. She becomes obsessed with it. So I'll just let everybody know what I've read. That leaves those 3 parts.
As a reminder, because I know it's been a long time, both Pogo and
Yeah.
Nazim have a certain click in the mind when references to the yellow sign come up. And I would say that as soon as Pogo shows, Pogo, you looking at it doesn't have. There's definitely a draw. That symbol definitely means something. You just don't know what. But you have a better inkling than either Sarah or Arteme. But Nazim, on the other hand, as soon as you see that, there is a painful throb in the empty space where the occupant of your cranium previously was.
Great. That means an Illithid just. Okay. We definitely need to find a way to track her down.
That may be important, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go up to the ruins and see how much damage was there. See who I could try and heal with resummoning the healing spirit with my last whatchamacallit, spell slot, then
Okay.
take a long rest. I will change to locate object and use that to try and locate the Wood Sage's course.
Okay. Well, first, because that's 12 hours of of time. Maybe not quite that, but still. Everybody going up to where Norark is digging. Then
Yeah.
Nazim and Pogo.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
curiosity.
Mhm.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I do have the ink of mimetic duplication.
Mhm.
No one's done anything really since that. If I recreated the spell she did, it wouldn't take me where she went. It would just allow me to create a similar spell teleportation and go somewhere different, right? Or somewhere I wanted to go.
That isn't. It would replicate the effect, but you, without knowing the destination, would not be able to
All right.
automatically, follow her through that. If that makes sense.
Okay. I don't like this background that you're putting up, Jeremy. It's very unnerving.
Both not Norok. Both Pogo and Nazim for Sarah and Arteme are standing there, and Pogo was mid sentence, maybe about commenting about going up, and then just freezes in place, and both of them are standing there paralyzed.
Okay,
Well,
that doesn't seem
like-
good.
They're still breathing though, right? Like
Yeah. They're there. They don't appear to be all there. Like something's clearly wrong.
just kind
Okay.
of like shake Pogo's shoulder and see if I can like jostle him out of it.
I'm gonna try and grab Nazim and put him on the broom.
Yeah, he's stiff. Like I would say, like rigor mortis, in the sense that he's not trying to fight you. He's just frozen still. Like muscles are
Okay, I'm
tense
gonna
and
try
frozen
and
still.
shake him a little and be like,
Also
Nazim,
stiff?
are you okay?
Is Pogo also stiff?
Yeah, Pogo and Nazim. Pogo's long staff also stiff?
Anyone needs to help me out with that.
Pogo wanted his last name to be Longstaff. So, years ago, I told him that commoners, even Gleeman, don't typically have last names, but that's his stage name. So I don't know that he's ever used it. But anyway, neither of them react at all. Pogo and Nazim, you guys are seeing what is on the screen there. There's no other reaction or anything. It's just there's clearly something kind of tugging your consciousness to a different place, and that's what you're seeing. It's otherwise silent. There is kind of a constant.
Do I see Nazim here, and does he see me, or is it just like inside our minds, almost like a image outside of place?
You don't have bodies in the place you're staring out from. You are just
kind of like almost like a dream.
Your incorporeal vision, yeah. I mean, even looking around, all you see are constant flashings and these move, basically similar to that scene there. There is a figure in the middle of this view. Obviously, when you look around, you don't see that figure elsewhere. You guys are seeing that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
and that's it. I would say that based on previous conversations you had with the man who you're still carrying the jawbone of, you recognize who this must be. There is a certain amount of disdain that is coming from it, both of you feel like you've let somebody down, I guess, is the kind of feeling that you're getting from this oppressive presence there. And that's it. Otherwise, it's not speaking. It's just sitting there in that image that you're seeing there.
Do we feel like we can talk to it?
I mean, you haven't tried.
Pogo would like to try to talk to it. What are you asking? What do you want from us? Or from me? Because I wouldn't know Nazim was doing this. What do you want from me? And does it look like a similar... Do I see it holding a crooked staff? Like
That isn't what the image is. The image is just moving and hard to tell. That's a hand holding up a globe.
Yeah, I just want to make sure... Because
Yeah.
I just double checking because to see
Whether it's the art or the image,
Yeah.
It is. There is a long kind of taloned hand almost that is holding up a globe. For everybody else, if you want to, you can watch this later. But that is what they're seeing. So as far as the art itself, not that it matters, it is just the art, of course, but it is what they're seeing. But you say that out loud, or attempt to say that out loud, Pogo?
Yeah.
Okay. You feel like it wasn't looking directly at you before, and yet even though it doesn't move, you feel like its eyes are now settling in the space where if you had a body, you would be, or you would be there. There is a knowing coming from it, not so much a voice, but rather like a downloading information into your brain of these words, and it says, when you have assembled the fragments of the yellow sign, when its true meaning begins to unveil itself, perform the ritual of revelation. Open the way to Carcosa.
Why do you want me to do this?
You see, well, again, more feel, I guess, than see the eyes look away. I would say, Nazim, that all happens for you as well as if you had spoken.
Gotcha. So we're in the same. Feels like we're in the same plane of speaking to both of us, kind of.
Yeah, so neither of you feel, I'll put that in there, neither of you feel any other presence. You don't feel Pogo nearby, and Pogo, you don't feel Nazim nearby. It's as if you're in the same exact physical place. You're the same creature as far as this reaction or this interaction is concerned.
I'm going to ask, how many parts of the yellow sign?
Sarah and Arteme, as you are standing there trying to figure out why the two of them are acting so strangely, you hear Pogo, you see his mouth moving, and he kind of begins to unsettled react. Parts of the yellow sign, says that out loud. And then both of you are back. So Pogo and Nazim have...
what was that? What was that? Who is this? All right, back in the shit. All
Are
right.
you guys okay?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
kind
I-
of froze up there.
I'm going to kind of like touch my body to make sure I'm corporeal. Yeah,
I'll just
All right.
question
Check
you
the
and
log
say,
staff.
Yellow King.
that was weird.
Who has that book, right? Pogo still has it? You were just showing it around?
Yeah, the one with the sign in it.
Okay.
And it happened when I looked at the sign, or did it just like, I think that's what happened to it?
That's when it like took a minute to kind of draw you in, but you were looking at at these drawings, and then I'm going to say as you were holding it though, and then froze, something fell out of the book, like something stuffed between the pages.
Well, do I see? I'll pick that
It
up.
fell out. It hit you in the foot. Yeah, I mean you felt it. Yeah. So it's
pick that up.
It's a thin sliver of an aged gold in the top shape, that hook in the top of it. You kind of picking it up, feel that the spot where the book binding had been pressed in and where it had been held in place, and jotted in the page above where this had been inside the book is a very hastily scrawled on this, like filling the whole page. "You're welcome" is written on the page.
I'm gonna go ahead and
I can hold on to that for you if you like.
I don't think this was left here on accident for us. I think I have some sort of strange connection to the same group of people. It wants me to assemble the fragments of the yellow sign and perform a ritual of revelation to open the way to Carcosa. Did you see that too? And I'm going to turn to Nazim and ask him.
Yes, same. If you like, I can
It was-
I can hold on to that piece if you need to.
Do I feel like there's a reason to hold on to that piece of paper that says you're welcome?
That's just part of the journal. The part that fell out of it is a piece of metal.
Oh, a piece of metal?
Yeah, it's a
Oh.
piece of like a very old gold, like just hammered gold. It doesn't look special. It doesn't look more valuable than like a chunk of metal of like
Sorry, where does it say you're welcome?
So written in the book. Okay, so take a book and take like a flat piece of metal and stick it between the pages and just leave it there for a long time.
Uh-huh.
The page where the binding is broken is where you saw "You're welcome" jotted into it, like very hastily.
It's where the piece of metal.
It's where the piece of metal fell out of the book.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
I was a little confused on the.
I may not have described it well. Sorry.
I'm gonna hold that up. Say all the same things, but I'm gonna hold it up in my hand.
Mhm.
Is Nazim giving me a weird feeling? I'm gonna do an insight check on Nazim for his,
Oh shit!
his information.
Asako, is Nazim
well,
giving him a weird feeling?
I'm
Like
not giving
my-
any weird feelings, man.
His whole character has weird feelings.
But
My face is melted.
I feel like I haven't even had a second to kind of calm down from this, and I'm like,
And
it
he's
seems
asking
strange
if he
to
can have
me.
that.
So I'm just gonna do an insight check to see if he has any
He's
kind of
carried
weird.
a lot.
All right, so
It's not
Sako, it is not well. Shit. You don't have wisdom. That's what it is. Okay, Sako, set your thing. So you're going to do this either way, and I'll explain. So don't click anything yet. First, what you're going to do is go ahead and click where it says "Public Role" above your chat box.
Private GM role.
Yes, change that to private GM role, and then I'm going to describe what you're going to do, and then you make a choice, and then do this. What you're going to choose there is if you are being totally normal. Let's say that if this is not weird, I guess is how I put that. Then you're going to make a persuasion check. If you are being deceptive and weird, and something is going on, then make a deception check, and then go ahead and roll that. That'll only roll to me. I'm not going to tell them which one it is, basically, but I will tell them the number. Actually, you know what? I don't know that we even need to. Yeah. All right. So you can go ahead and describe your reaction, and then I'll give Pogo insights on that if he rolled appropriately. So go ahead and describe your reaction on what Nazim would react to being asked if he's being weird.
Oh yeah, no. I just would like to hold on to it. I'd like to kind of piece together these items. We've been through this journey, and it's just something I'd like to hold on to. That's all. That way, it's all in one place.
And do I believe him?
He seems genuine. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let him hold on to it.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna ask Nazim, when we get time to sit down and take a rest, would you mind if I tried to identify it, just see if we can get any information off of it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Because it's gonna take me an hour or so whenever we end up being for a while.
Yeah, we also need to seriously figure out. That was the first time I've seen whatever this was. It was this massive tentacles for fingers. It was like almost humanoid shape, just with tentacles for the fingers and the digits. And it was holding a blue magical orb, had like a golden ring around its head, was wearing like a big thing around its neck, a big what would that be called? When it's a large circular amulet.
Torque? So are you looking for torque?
I don't know. I think I was good for amulet. But
I'm
Okay,
sure
all right.
we look weird to the king too.
I will tell you, Pogo, that when you had that brief transaction with death, let's say, it was that same place. It wasn't the same creature.
yeah,
That was
different creatures.
that was a creature with a similar stature, not quite as big, not nearly as imposing, but all similarly clad in yellow, though.
Yeah.
So, help me remember this correctly. I asked Corin Xantalis about Carcosa once, didn't I?
You did. Let me look back at my notes
And it
real
was
quick.
not a favorable response to it, I don't think.
No, he definitely told you do not, keep any, like, have no involvement with that at all.
Can't
Let me
really
find
trust
his.
him though.
Well, I
That's
mean,
fair too. Trusting
yeah.
anybody's probably not a great idea, but
I mean, I don't. Well, Sarah probably doesn't 100% trust Corin Xantalis just on principle alone.
yeah.
But she trusts him more than others.
Where is
I
his
mean,
response about that? I might have to find that. When I'm searching Carcosa, I'm not seeing it in my notes, but I do remember you asking about it, so I'll have to look it up and get back to you.
I mean, he did help her at some point, so he's not completely bad.
I got it just because, like, I felt bad for the last 45 minutes at least of Norok, like, not getting to do anything. He's literally digging.
Yeah,
Well, as you
thank
guys
you.
know, he's digging bodies out, but Ben, as a player, isn't getting to like have fun here. So,
Well, I could say, I mean, this whole conversation only took like a minute. Then we'll go and
that's
help.
it.
Yeah,
Is
we
that
did a
he's
lot.
he's by now gotten the rest out, and I mean, Norok, that's going to be. Let's say maybe up to you because the information you gathered from that check you got earlier, right? You understood what I was saying with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? I'll just do this. There you go. So, I guess. Well, I guess an unboxing. That's fucking great. That is an awesome one, Sako. All right, so you know what? If this conversation is continuing here, that's fine. But do you guys mind if maybe I just move you up there and then we can
Oh
involve
yeah, we
Ben?
would have moved up there as soon as like we found the journal and stuff. As soon as
Okay.
they were okay, I think we would have moved up.
So narratively, it's probably makes more sense that you guys would have stayed here, but just because it is a game that I do want to, not have been completely divested of, that isn't particularly, fun for him. Not that it isn't correct as far as story is concerned, but let's just say that it's happening up here, if that's okay with everybody. Let me bring you guys up. Go. All right. So we'll just say that you guys are having this conversation up here. You know that Norok is digging. I would say there is obviously the very clear understanding that what Norok is digging out are almost all bodies, and you know that Leary was in this room. So, do with that what you will.
This is not a good day. First, I would say just Chorus, and now Leary, most likely. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna go up and see what's going on. I'll use my last slot for the healing spirit.
Okay. Of those pulled from the wreckage there is Mirrodin, who is a dwarf, and Gwair, who is an elf, and Tyrael, who is an elf. Everyone
Is
else
there
is dead.
anyone who is
okay,
very
wait, I
close
have
to
a
that?
few more.
Oh wait, she's got healing spirit.
What was that, Justin?
Never mind. If she's using healing spirit, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Okay.
I could use healing spirit 2 more times after this if this one's not enough.
Well, I mean, it does help with those that are still alive. Unfortunately, though, that list, just so that you guys, are able to see this, but I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat here. I guess the colors don't matter anymore, but this was before I rolled anything, these are the names of the people in alphabetical order. Was Alasi, Gwair, Jaskin, Kamo, Learleth, Mirrodin, and so on. Her plus her 8. And then it is rolled 90-100s, and it was 25 and under. They just didn't have a chance to survive at all. 25 to 50, as long as they got unburied soon enough, they would survive. 50 to 75 were injured but conscious, and the only one that was above that and safe was Alasi, he rolled an 87. So I took those and then just took those 87, 31, 10, and so on. There he was a 10. She is not alive.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be extremely sad news. Artemis probably just gonna heal the ones that are left alive, and then just go into a trance.
Okay. All right. There's a clear enough spot over here if you wanted to. There's still sunlight over there, so a little spot where you're off by yourself if that's what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the rest of the group, Norok, you're obviously got to be pretty tired digging through all the rubble there. You freed the ones that you could. I will tell you that you don't feel like you lost any that could have been saved. Is how I'll
I
put
will
that.
thank Norok before leaving, though.
Okay.
Finding my own spot.
Sure.
No problem. Okay. Yeah, so I feel like I don't hear any other movements, anything kind of thing.
By the time you got there, everyone that was alive at that point, you managed to rescue. You didn't roll low enough to fail anybody, so you got everybody out. Now, the last bit of it, because it was only the 4 that remained, I was just saying, hand waving past that portion, that the only one of those 4 was still alive, and it was the dwarf, and he had advantage anyways. So I just didn't roll for him. But the other 3 were already dead before you even showed up. So. You didn't fail any, is what I'm getting at. All of the ones that you could have potentially saved, you did. Everybody else is crushed right from the get-go. So the airship impacting it, and then a couple of fireballs up there were enough to rattle this temple and bring down the ceiling and everything over top of them. And that was that.
Fucking Pogo is gonna be so rattled going forward. Everybody, he's just gonna question a lot of things that he does now. So.
I want to show you guys real quick, just so that you guys understand what this looks like here. I'm going to bring you guys up to this map here. Oh, I had moved you guys over to the other map, I moved to the other map, and I forgot to move you guys. So this, hang on, let me move you guys back on. This is the top, right? So you see, if you look through that hole in the center there, that's up above the airship. That's the hole where the giant skeleton is in the center of the room. So that airship crashed into the bottom right of that room, basically. So let me move you back over. And that's where Pogo had crashed it, is where all the rubble fell. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that obviously the impact of the fireballs would have a significant seismic activity here as well. But that was the result of it. Is this map here? So that isn't to shit on Pogo, by the way. I'm just saying that it wasn't an arbitrary choice that where the where the airship hit or anything like that. Just happened to be right where they were all digging from when you guys came in. I didn't know that Pogo was planning on crashing an airship into it. I thought that was still an awesome creative idea. It just had unfortunate results here is all. So
the fact that it completely caved in this whole thing and didn't even kill the other dude, that was boggling.
No, not really. I mean, think about it, like there's space.
It only did like 48 or 68 damage to the dude.
It didn't do a ton on the initial hit, yeah. But I mean, he definitely died from his injuries from the crash. I mean, just think of it like that. Like if you
going forward, we just got to remember that ruins have 68 hit points.
well,
and if you do more than 68 damage to a building, it will fall down and collapse.
I will tell you that
I'm perfectly fine with that.
That dwarf was very strange. You guys haven't thought about it this session, obviously, because this has been a relatively short period of time and a lot of other high priority things, let's say. But that dwarf was definitely strange and odd, and its body is presumably underneath the.
What Jeremy's saying is it's perfectly fine to murder autistic people. Is what he's basically trying to say.
I mean, if they're neurodivergent, I mean, do we really need them? Do we really need them?
What benefit do they have? ADHD or something too, man. It's fine.
That's all you need.
I mean, once I come out of my trance, I'll go look at it. But
I was just pointing that out so that you guys, as the players, don't forget to potentially look at that if you so.
Pogo's basically gonna do that like cliche thing where he's like, "There's no way I could have known. I couldn't have known this. I didn't realize. I mean, we were just trying to survive. It caused the whole thing to crash down. I mean, there were fireballs everywhere, and how could I have known?" And he's just gonna be really sad and just kind of a little standoffish. Just so everyone knows, this is going to definitely impact how Pogo plays the game from now on and how Pogo interacts with the world. So we'll see what happens. Not good for Pogo.
It was... Anybody else would have made the same decision. I mean, nobody was thinking about the fact that these are ruins. They were just thinking about the fact that none of us wanted to die. So it wasn't your fault. This is Sarah trying to be comforting, by the way.
About believer or not.
She doesn't have...
Okay,
she didn't have
roll for persuasion.
No,
I will say that as a DM, that is absolutely appropriate and actually correct, that nobody was thinking about these being ruins. I did tell you guys The thing is, it's been a long time. I did tell you guys a long time ago that these were not the most stable when it comes to geological activity, that there have been other cave-ins, and in fact, parts of the ruins were already caved in. But that was so long ago, though. In a game, nobody's going to be thinking about that, of course. Obviously, your characters potentially
I can't wait till someday someone accidentally crashes like a small plane into a pyramid and doesn't do shit. I'm like, see, Jeremy.
Well, okay, that's
Confidence.
the 68. I gotta say that doing 68 and everything. You got to realize it is a game. I can't, if I tell you that crashing an airship into anything is just going to do 1,000 damage, then you're just going to go build airships and crash it into every boss you have. You know what I mean? Like, it still has to happen. Be building a fleet of airships. Okay. I mean, if Pogo wants to roll against it, he can. She was being.
No, I feel a little bit better. Feel a little bit better.
Sarah is not the greatest at comforting, but she was honestly trying.
Because I'm gonna kind of be looking at Norok all worn out from pulling rocks and people all hurt everywhere and the group tired, and then the fact that we still failed, didn't even get this thing back, and now we don't even know what it's going to be used for some malicious purpose. And Pogo is going to be pretty upset. He's very upset with himself, even though he might not fully believe it's 100% his fault. I mean, he wasn't the one who was just trying to give this thing away to random people, but he's just going to go over to the side and.
It was an elf message. It's been a really long week.
Here's the thing: he's not thinking about that yet. But if you want to think it over a little bit, that's fine. But he's gonna go feel bad in the corner. He's gonna go find a spot and just sit down,
and
just watch everything unfolding.
All right. How about Nazim? Soko?
Oh, apologies. Toki was having a little issue. I think he just threw up a hairball.
No.
All right. So we are here taking a look. Is there anything anyone can use assistance with at this point, or are we just still kind of doing some reconnaissance in here at this moment?
Well, so while you were stepped away there for a second,
it was like
Pogo was having a little minor breakdown. I'm not sure what you mean, Fox.
Well, I had put speak with animals to talk on my way up, talk with the bird on my way up before handing over the thing, and I think we stopped the game there, and I completely forgot until now.
I don't even remember that, unfortunately. So you were doing speak with animals while you were flying up to the top before you had handed over the Wood Sages chorus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I forgot about it because I think we ended the session early.
We probably did. I know we had a couple. Well, that was 2 sessions ago, but yeah. What information you would have gotten from the bird? I guess it depends, kind of what you had asked. What was the give me the impetus of the conversation. I'll try to fill it in.
I was just gonna ask why the early callback, I think, or something like that. I don't quite remember.
Response would have been pretty non-committal. The bird wouldn't really know. It's just following. It doesn't know what the messages are. It just delivers them. Yeah, it doesn't tell you what the message is. It's a little piece of paper that's on its ankle. So it would have been just following orders type of response, essentially.
Essentially just a mail carrier.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you tried shooting the messenger?
No.
Let's do this. If you guys have specific things to do here, you know what? We'll just do a quick round then. Sarah, do anything specific here?
Just a couple things. So I'm going to grab the alchemy jug from the bag from Arteme, leave Noctua to cuddle with her. Okay. I'm going to drop the alchemy jug next to Pogo, and then I'm going to go cast Identify on that piece of metal.
Okay. Nazim, are you handing over the metal?
Yes.
Okay.
We're just gonna kind of sit in a circle and identify it and everything. I'll see if I can.
You're going with her?
Yeah. Okay. What I can do too is I can see if I can get some arcane readings off of it, or if I can pull anything from memory. If necessary, I'll even read my tome just to kind of see if something blips in my head.
All right. Well, it didn't break. Arteme, what you get from it, it isn't directly magical. It is imbued with a target. It's a place marker, and specifically what you get from it is one piece of 3 of a gate rune. So the runes when you jot down a teleportation circle, the runes that you're writing down are physical objects in space, and those objects are usually made out of metal or something like that, and are kind of drawn, permanently placed into a wall. Like, for example, when you guys fell out of the one that was vertical on the wood plains, and you fell out. Those were chunks of metal just like this. Although this is, the metal may look slightly different, but apart from that, it is a physical object, and this is one of 3 that just so happens to go to a place you don't know of. You've never seen this symbol before. You don't recognize what the rest of the framing must be based on the drawings that Nazim had shown you. But this is one piece of a gate rune.
Okay. Quick glance at my scroll. Has it changed?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, this is at this point. It might be 30 minutes or so. This whole thing basically. So it hasn't been very long.
Okay. And I will just hand it back to Nazim. So it's a piece of a gate key. And I have no idea where it leads, but given the fact that it's made of gold and where she wants to go, it probably leads to Carcosa, so that'll be interesting.
I would say based on the information that you've had from Santhus, the guy whose jawbone you're still carrying, and the communications that both Pogo and Nazim have had in the past, you gather that you were told to seek the yellow sign, and this appears to be one piece of 3.
Sounds good.
Is Pogo making active use of the alchemy jug?
Oh, I'm getting fucking hammered. I'm drinking.
Okay.
I'm chugging wine.
Okay. So I would figure then, depending on their communication, he may not have said it's loud enough that Pogo may not have that information about what this piece of metal is. I'll leave that up to you guys if you decide to share that later.
I figured when he's sober in the morning, we'll tell.
Okay. All right. Then we'll check with Norok, and then we're going to have some quick homework to do, I guess, and then we'll pick up next week. So, what's Norok doing, G?
I'm just going to go over with Pogo and get a drink because I'm thirsty from all that digging.
That's fair. All
I'm
right.
not going to say anything, just sit there with him and drink.
Sure. All right. And you sit down against the wall with Pogo, who is clearly having a small, and that isn't a halfling joke, but a small existential crisis, as Nazim and Sarah are chatting over the piece of metal, and Arteme is off by herself doing a trance. We're going to go ahead and end the session there. I'm going to tell you guys that we are going to have a short time skip. It'll be 2 weeks of time skip in narrative. So anything that your characters would be doing, we'll kind of reconvene basically depending on what you guys choose to do with that time. But obviously, what I'm getting at, I guess, is let's decide quickly where you guys, what you would be doing for, aiming towards, let's say, in 2 weeks. But otherwise, your characters have 2 weeks of downtime essentially. You are also beginning to do your level ups to 16. So we will deal with those probably first thing in our next session. But